Okay, and then we'll do our, let me launch my secondary, make sure we can hear each other. Oops, I mean, that people can hear us, because obviously we can hear each other. Okay. So if you were watching us, good morning. This is Ben and Brandon, two founders of the Militant Casuals, coming to you live at, oh God, it's so early in the morning on Saturday with another Jank Tank stream. Brandon, say hello.
Hello.
So what we have today is a matchup between Daniel Lim, also known as Lord Isophane, and Wolf from Europe, which is why this game is at, oh God, it's early in the morning. So, Brandon, let's have you talk again just to make sure I can hear you. I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. Hold on.
Excellent.
Okay, you're good. It looks like we've got full audio and video going, but no viewers, but that's fine. Folks will be coming. So anyway, yeah, so welcome everybody to Jank Tank 2. Oops, I don't want to do that on that machine. Um, so I'm not going to actually be able to set up our list scoreboard here now because I started streaming before I should have. But let's talk a little bit about the list that we've got going here today. So we've got Daniel Lim is running a Republic squad. No shocker there, one of his favorite factions. So he's got a Jedi Knight with Chopper and Delta 7, two Red Squadron bombers, one of which has an ion cannon turret, plasma torps, and synchronized console. Um, Another Red Squadron that has R2A6 and cluster mines, so an actual bomber named Bomber. And then Ahsoka Tano with calibrated laser targeting. And Daniel's change to this list was to add CLT2 Ahsoka after briefly waffling with adding a second ion cannon turret to the list. And then Wolf, let's see, Wolf is running, for those of you curious. Man, this is such a great stream. I'm finding this list so easily. There we go. Sir Wolf is running a scum list, so he's got a Z95 with a feedback array, Dalen Oberos, Akima Gila with ion torpedoes and proton rockets, Cad Solus with proton torps, and Teltravura with an ion cannon. And his addition, I believe, was the ion cannon to Teltravura, which is never a bad idea. So yeah, both these guys drafted fairly late in our draft, having done very well in Jank Tank 1. Brandon, I'm going to work on typing these lists in where we both can see them, but if you want to talk about this matchup, take us away for a bit while I do that.
I'm putting a score sheet together real quick.
Perfect. I'm glad you're doing that because I forgot to do that as well. It's 8:30, or it's not even 8:30 in the morning, folks.
Yeah.
You got to cut us some slack here on this stream. Yeah, so unfortunately we didn't get to stream any of Wolf's games in the first Jank Tank, mostly because since Wolf is in Europe, he's got to do weird hours for his games, either like midnight or 8:30 in the morning our time here in the Pacific. So I'm glad that we get to actually do this stream because Wolf and Daniel did both do very well in the first Jank Tank, but also Wolf and Daniel are two of the better players we have in the tournament, and it's always good to see a matchup between two very, very good players.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. So Daniel, so I'm gonna continue to I'm gonna actually type in Daniel's list. So feel free to talk about your perspective on the two lists and the matchup.
Yeah. I mean, Daniels is one that I was considering taking myself. I think just with the Chopper 7B Jedi, he's got a lot of options to get in there and just wreak havoc on Wolf's list.
I was going to jump to that and say I was actually surprised that few the general perspective seemed to be that the Republic lists were not as strong as some of the other factions, and that was not really how I felt having set them up. I thought there were several viable Republic lists just because you're combining, arcs and Jedi and Y-wings, etc., and those are good holes at the very least.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, both of the two Y-wing lists were pretty solid.
yeah, I thought so too. And there was another list actually, which I think got drafted late or maybe earlier, that had broadside, and I think broadside is always good. Um, Brandon, we covered your game last night. You drafted earlier than both of these guys. You were running the FO list last night, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what tipped your decision to that FO list you were running versus this list that you were thinking about covering?
Uh, I've just been running a lot of FO lately, and I've been having fun with that. So
Yeah.
that was
Oh, go ahead. Go
that,
ahead.
and I thought that was the best FO list in the draft too. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
I was surprised it fell that far.
Well, and a couple of at least one FO list had been picked before you
Hmm.
picked as well, right? So
Yes.
because I think Vince picked just before you and picked another strong candidate for a good FO list. With that was not that different from yours. Is that right?
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
I think he's
Um,
got two named FOs instead of the generic and the SF.
yeah. Um, what's in a matchup maybe between your FO list and this Republic list that you were thinking about, which do you think has the advantage and why?
I mean, well, for one, I'd be a little less worried about this one than the game last night, just because there's only one ion turret and
Right.
it's not double tapping.
Yeah. Yeah. That I really. I mean, I know that Charles struggled because he doesn't play a lot of Imperialists here locally. I know Charles struggled a little bit with his aggressive nature versus what that list probably calls for, and I'm excited to see how he adapts in his second game. But man, those TIE aggressors, everybody, they're not terrible. If you can make them double tap, they are not terrible. And a double tapping ion cannon turret aggressor is still only 41 points, you guys. So I mean that's an X-wing, yeah, but um, yeah. Um, let's talk a little bit about since we've started to talk about the Jedi Knight, Red Squadron bombers, and Ahsoka Tano list. What do you think of this of Wolf's scum list?
Oh, I think it looks like a load of fun. Uh,
Yeah, well, you and I are both dabble at least in scum play, so I agree with you. I love
yeah,
Tel Travera. I think Tel Travera is one of the best pieces in scum, and I plan when we're all back and doing tournaments again. Uh, I plan to continue to prove that on my end, uh, because God, Tell is so good. Um,
and
Go ahead.
and I've flown Dalen in the chemo a few times, and when you can trigger his ability, that he's pretty solid. And Daniel does have a lot of shields out there for Dalen to strip.
Yeah, the Key Magila hasn't gotten a lot of focus in 2.0, and I think part of it is because it hasn't really been in hyperspace. But yeah,
I,
Dalen with ion torpedoes and proton rockets. Talk a little bit about Dalen's ability.
yeah, so
Quickly, hey guys, are you guys ready to go, or
Yeah,
are
go
we
for
good
it,
to go?
Daniel. Yep.
yep.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
I'm gonna stay here then, okay?
No, it's not okay. Get out.
Yeah, so Dalen's ability is at the start of the engagement phase. He can choose a shielded ship in his bullseye and spend a charge. He's got two non-recurring charges. If he does, that ship loses a shield and he recovers a shield.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's limited regen at your opponent's expense.
Yeah, and in a faction that doesn't have a lot of options for regen besides Gonk, and nobody uses Gonk, which is wrong because Gonk is Gonk, but so be it. Um, yeah, so Daniel and Wolf are both ready. We've got the scum list set up in one corner, and Daniel has clustered himself in the bottom corner. And here we go in round one. I'm going to jump over to our live dashboard. We've got Alex listening in this morning, and Broadside is Alex's jam. Broadside's my jam too when I play with Y Wings. He's just straight good. Um, I've tried to make R2D2 work. I really wish R2D2 could work. I'm hoping someday R2D2 can work because I really like that hull.
Yeah, one of our local players has been running a lot of R2D2 with Palpatine.
Oh, nice. I was trying to make R2 work with Snapshot and C3PO and a bomb, and it's not terrible. It's just he's R2D2 is just a little overpriced to really
Yeah,
be a useful piece. So if that ever changed, if R2D2 ever got a little bit cheaper, I think R2D2 is good. The challenge with that hull is the dial sucks, and so not having access to R2 also really hurts R2
yeah,
because you can't make those ones and twos blue.
yeah.
Uh,
No, I really love the fluff when they with going back to the old dial for the Y wing or the first edition dial for the Republic
yes,
Y wing.
yeah. I mean, I also it's just such a good ship ability. That ability to ignore the first crit is really good. And so they had to be really careful, I'm sure, with pricing. And I like the fluff of, R2D2's piloting the ship, so you get a crew slot instead of
Yeah,
an astromech slot. I just love that. I love it when FFG does do those sorts of things. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna stop fanboying about R2D2, and someday I hope that hull is or R2D2 is a little bit cheaper. So what do we expect from opening moves from our scum side here? So we've got a slow roll for the Z95. What do you think the rest of his list is doing?
I think they're probably going to come out slow and I think we're going to see both players kind of dancing around each other here to start. Daniel's a very cautious player, so I don't expect anything's going to be going fast on his end. He'll probably just turn in the corner here. Oh, and I like that. Locking the cloud, getting ready for Chopper to come in.
Yeah. Um, so since we have basically two kind of beefy lists, I mean it's weird to say that a list with two Jedi is beefy, but that Jedi Knight with 7B is no joke. I love the 7B title. Um,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
the double repo 6 health Jedi are good no matter who they are. Um, neither of these lists really has what we would think of as a traditional ace. Yeah, you've got Cad Solus as a Fang, which could be AC in this matchup since he will be moving last no matter what. Well, I mean Tel can move last too, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, but generally speaking, Cad I don't think is going to get to play the ace role in most games. So it'll be interesting to see if in this particular matchup we see him use Cad as a sort of a flanker ace, or he keeps everybody together. Um,
Yeah, and with that off-axis setup for CAD too, that's going to make CAD's positioning interesting.
yeah, what do you make of that? I always find it a little weird to see ships placed with the off-axis positioning because it breaks my brain to think about where they're going to go, let alone trying to break my opponent's brain. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, for a matchup like this, it's it can work out really well. I mean, right? Because it's going to give you different angles of approach and make your, especially for something like the Fang, it's going to make his angled boosts and barrel rolls put him in positions that might be more advantageous than if he had set up at a straight 90 with the rest of the list. Especially with Daniel's ships all set up square to each other.
What do you
But
expect to
yeah.
see from Cad in the opening move? Nope, there we go.
Oh,
Turns towards
yeah.
the board edge. Interesting. I was wondering if he might do a two-turn the other direction, actually, weirdly, but oh, interesting. Okay, so he's locking, yeah, locking the gas cloud. Yeah, right, because Chopper can do bad things to your locks. So if you're gonna lose a lock, you might as or a token, it might as well be one on a gas cloud. Yep. Sorry, it's 8:30 in the morning, folks. Not even 8:40, 8:30 in the morning yet. Um, I thought when you said he locked the cloud, he was like locking it so it didn't accidentally get moved. Because I'm an idiot at 8:24 in the morning. Uh, yeah, that makes total sense. Very, very smart. Also
Yeah.
good to do against
I mean,
any jamming list, right?
yeah. I mean, only issues that the jammer gets to choose which token they remove.
Right.
So it was a little more effective before they made that rule change.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, you know, particularly for CAD and Tell who are going to move after.
Yeah, it
What
gives
it,
them an escape valve.
yeah,
So if
they
he
would
jams
receive the token otherwise, and thus
otherwise,
not
yep.
be able to have a focus. So yeah, in this case, those two guys locking the list makes total sense. And it looks like, let's see, who has initiative here? It looks like Sir Wolf has been given initiative, right?
I believe so.
Because I think Dalen is moved. Yeah, or Tell. Wait, who moved? Let's see, who's three's moved first?
Yes, Daniel passed first player to
Okay,
the wolf.
great. Yeah, I was going to say, in an initiative battle, it might help Dalen as well to lock the gas cloud if he was going to move before Daniel ships.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Daniel and Wolf are both very smart players. All right. So yeah. So in that case, with Dalen moving first, it makes total sense for him to lock the rock too. Probably the only one who doesn't make sense to lock the rock is the Beniri Pirate, but why not? You never know. So it looks like we're into the planning phase of round 2. And let's see, Brandon, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so both players are really really did as we expected. They're probing to see what the other player is going to do. Neither player is really going to commit, I think, to aggressive moves this turn either. What do you think?
Yeah. No, and with where Wolf's set up, I think he's probably gonna try and swing Dalen and Cad around that maybe down the middle lane. I'd expect to see Daniel just keep plodding along the edge there.
All right. Yep. And so the Beniri Pirate is turning in a bit to. I mean, obviously the Beniri Pirate's going to be, a blocker more than anything else in this list. It does have feedback array, which makes it actually an extra fun blocker.
Yep.
So I really do love that, our good friend the randomizer gave us a blocking Z95 with with feedback array because that's amazing. Um, so we're expecting probably the one straight to victory from the Y's, I would imagine. Did Daniel go out of order? Shouldn't the Y's have gone? Or is it morning and I'm just dumb?
Yeah. No, he moved the Jedi. Sure, why not?
This might be the hazard of a 8:30 a.m. game for everybody. Am I right?
Yeah.
Welcome to this to subscribing to our terrible streaming channel here, Alex, he did smash that subscribe button. uh, Alex is also new to our tournament, so Alex will be probably playing on stream at some point here as well. So yeah, welcome to the Militant Casuals Jank Tank. Yeah, not only did Daniel jump the gun moving the Jedi first, he's right. Dalen should have gone before the Jedi.
Yeah.
All right, you know how I was saying Daniel is also one of the best players in Militant Casuals? I lied. This guy's so easy. You just have to get him to play at 8, and then you get
there you go.
Even matchup. So it feels like Cad's probably going to do another one of those hard turns and move in behind Dalen. So it looks like Wolf's, well, or maybe beside it with that barrel roll. Let's see, is that a red barrel roll on that hull? Yes, it is. Okay, thought so. All right. So I was thinking that, initially with that first move for Dalen there, that Dalen was going to end up being kind of a screen for Cad, and now I'm not so sure that's the plan. But all right, now Ahsoka can catch up with the rest of the list. There are so many. I'm also not sure about the collection of counters just below Daniel's list, if those are on a ship or.
Yeah, so he first round everyone locked the Jedi Knight. Now it looks like he's using Ahsoka's ability to.
That makes sense, right? Because Chopper also can affect yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so now the Jedi Knight's got to lock on that gas cloud. Because he's burned both charges on Chopper now.
Alex is saying in chat, if 8:30 a.m. games are normal, he wants out. No, this is only happens when you match up against Sir Wolf, given the time difference to Europe. So hopefully, well, it's this or midnight. Pick your poison, Alex. If you end up matched with Wolf. All right, so yeah, not a very aggressive move from Tell, which of course that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Tell's coming in with his primary turret to the left, which would seem to indicate that Tell's going to probably do another bank next turn and keep options open for the future. That would be my guess. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Z could do a 2 hard between the clouds, or it could do a 3 forward just to threaten that corner. I don't think I'd want to be that aggressive, but he can't just do a 1 forward if Tell's going to bank, I think, because I imagine Tell might bump him. There's a turn and a boost for Cad, so indicating that Wolf has picked the lane between the sets of gas clouds here for those 2 ships at least. So Daniel, I think this does leave Daniel in a position where he can continue to just be conservative and let kind of Wolf pick where he's going. And we're on to round 3. Go ahead.
Yeah, and with how Wolf's spread out to hit those different lanes too. If Daniel, and there's the erratic Chopper,
the best Chopper. Oh, I love that card. I love that card so much. Speaking of thematic stuff, I mean, we're all big Chopper fans in Militant Casuals. If you ever played with us at GK Mountain View, you heard probably each of us doing our bow, 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 bow at some point. But
our best Dave Filoni impressions.
Yeah, exactly. Before we knew it was Dave Filoni, of course. Back then it was really just the Rebel Chopper, who was very good at the end of 1.0 with the Fen Ghost lists. But I was so happy to see them with this design, regular Chopper and then Crazy Chopper. With the flip card, it's just so perfect. It just fits that he was once upon a time an actual normal astromech, and then he was Chopper.
Yeah. And then we had the first edition, just the card art on a hit with him and the crew Chopper and the courier droid.
Yes, that was all. That was also really amazing. is amazing. Um, so let's for anybody who might not be familiar with Chopper, talk a little bit about like the two sides of that card, Brandon, from your perspective.
So the first side does give you the side you start with equipped. It gives you some more defensive options because it lets you take a red evade to burn one of the charges. So Daniel burned them both early here, so he clearly wasn't looking for the defensive upgrade. He was going straight into the erratic side,
Yeah.
which so now after the Jedi Knight executes a maneuver, he must assign a jam token to a ship at range 0 to 1. So that's why we have all those target locks out on the table right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's actually pretty rare to see somebody use Chopper for the defensive upgrades. It's
Yeah,
pretty common that people just don't care about that side and actually care about the cry havoc and let loose the droids of war side, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, and on the 7B on the Delta 7, it's a fast ship, so once you get that in close with the your opponent's list, they're a good knife fighter too. So he's gonna if he can get the Jedi Knight in there, it's gonna wreak some havoc on Wolf's list.
Yeah, and not just fast, but again because that one has the Delta 7, it's also survivable, right? I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not as low initiative as you would want as a blocker, but that's fine, right? Chopper happens whether you get blocked or not.
Yep.
So, um, as Daniel said, he's gone mad. Watch out for the crazy robot. Um, that's good advice. Um, so we've got dials down for round 3 coming up here. So I expect Daniel just to do the with the Y's one forward to victory. I would bet, given how fast he moved the Jedi Knight last turn, that Jedi Knight's going to probably go fast again, and Ahsoka maintain a safe distance between Crazy Droid and Ahsoka. But
Yeah.
what do you see coming from Wolf?
Uh it looks like he's got Dalen and Cad committed to coming up the middle.
Yep.
So and I think Dalen's probably gonna two bank. That's his fastest blue. That'll point him toward the fight unless he wants to see where's that dial. And there is a 3 straight, but I don't think that really puts him in a great position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Tell's just gonna continue to slow roll. The question is, does he go straight with the pirate or turn him in?
Yeah, that's the big question, and I actually don't. I'd hesitate to do either because I feel like, you're in Tell's way if you do a one forward. And I guess you could sustain a bump this turn, but the space between those two gas clouds is not ideal for Tell down the road. So I really feel like Tell's got to, particularly with the gun pointed to the left, is going to want to straighten out towards the board edge.
Yep.
Which means that you either have to move that Z really fast or you have to turn it in. And I don't like either of those moves because that leaves the Z potentially isolated to get taken off the board before it can block anything. Um, so I don't know which of the two poisons I like more there. I mean, Cad always has the option of doing a 4 or 5 forward, right, to come in and to
Yeah.
support the Z if the Z does turn in. But you're right, Dalen is going to be a little bit behind here just because that barrel roll away to open up the space for Cad also puts Dalen a little bit behind. Now medium base moves a little bit further with a 2 bank than you might expect, so maybe it's not going to be the end of the world. Um, but I am interested to see which poison he picks with the Z.
Yeah.
All right, we've got system phase. And actually, so a point made by Alex in chat here as we talk about these lists, that they are jank tank lists, and you wouldn't expect to see, I think, these combination of ships on the board generally. But what is interesting about this is Wolf doesn't really have any wasted points, having drafted as late as he did, and Daniel really doesn't have any wasted points as late as he drafted, which it does speak a little bit to what my sort of design philosophy for this jank tank was, which was to have interesting choices but not have totally crappy lists, in the bottom few picks. Um, so, I'll talk a little bit about that. When I was generating lists, I threw out certain ships. So any list that had Vader, Mace, Quick Draw, Wedge, just got straight trash canned because I just didn't want to see, games dominated by the very best pilots. Oh, I threw out a list with Kylo as well. I forgot that last night.
Good idea.
And I threw out any lists that didn't leave some kind of interesting upgrade choice to make. So, in this case, Daniel did have an interesting choice to make. He could have put an ion cannon turret or CLT into the list, and the thing he removed was a wasted thing anyway. Wolf chose to put ion cannon on Tell, but he could have put the title on Tell. He could have done any number of things, really. He could have put Virago, I think, on Dalen. Oh no, sorry, Dalen's not the space butterfly. I'm thinking of a different pilot. Wrong Dalen. Yeah, so there were choices at least. So these aren't trash lists. They're just not pilots you would normally see flown, and I think that was what I wanted to see. So
yeah, and it definitely makes this format a lot more interesting. And
yeah, I just didn't want folks to auto lose games because all that was left was some a 2-ship list with 50 crap upgrades on them, right?
Yeah.
I think we had a little bit of that. Not a ton, but a little bit of that in Jank Tank 1, and it's not hard, when you generate. Let's see, what did I generate? 6 times 7, 42 overall list. So there's going to be garbage in there. But we had 20 players, so only half those lists had to be playable. I think that was achieved. Rick, who won the last Jank Tank and picked last, also ended up with a list that is a totally okay list.
Yeah.
Maybe even better than that. Alex, I think, is complaining, though, because there were some lists that had static discharge vanes or electronic baffle that still have those static discharge vanes or electronic baffle after the draft and change. Okay, so let's get back to the current round. So we had Daniel self-jammed one of his locks, which, yeah, makes total sense. The Jedi Knight did do a 3 forward and then a boost, so it will have a shot on that Z at the very least this turn. His Ys moved a little, or at least the front Y moved a little bit more aggressive than I expected. So that was a 3 bank to get in there, and that is I think that is the Torp bomber. Let me double check. That's the wrong list. No, it looks like, yes. Yeah. So it looks like 1 is the ion cannon Torp bomber, and it looks like 2 is the R2A6 cluster bomb. So he's got the bomber coming in behind, which makes sense.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
Spent both Ahsoka's force.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so it's not expecting, it would seem a lot of early combat here for Ahsoka. That suggests Ahsoka is probably gonna try to not get into combat or not be a target at least next turn, and keep the jam options open for the Jedi Knight. I like that. Now, it's worth noting on Tell, sometimes, the thing that is fun about the ion cannon as opposed to the ion cannon turret, and what is fun about the jump masters is, and sometimes catches players by surprise, is it looks like, one of those Y-wing setups where, oh, you only can hit me out to range 2 with that turret to the left, but no. If you're not familiar with the Jumpmaster, that is their primary weapon to the left, which is range 1 to 3, so you can get some great shots from that. And the ion cannon itself is a range 1 to 3 weapon. So that also can catch players by surprise. They're like, wait a minute, you can ion me at range 3? To which I say, lol, yes, I can.
Well,
And there is Cat doing the 5 forward.
moving his lock over to that Y-wing, so
Yeah, makes
we're going to be
good
seeing
sense.
a proton torpedo here.
Yes, we are. I mean, that is the interesting thing about this CAD setup is it is CAD with protorps, which I don't think we get to see Fangs with munitions very much.
No.
And I don't know if this is a good thing. But the CAD's ability I really like. I just haven't found a good use for it yet. CAD's pilot ability, which is to get 2 focus tokens when you do a red maneuver. Maybe it does play well into the idea of a munitions fang, right? Because you come in and you get your target lock early. Maybe don't even spend it on the first engage, and find a way to do a red move that then puts you in position to have target lock, focus for offense, and focus for defense.
I mean, because the 2 Talon rolls are really solid on there. Normally when I fly Fangs, they're usually stressed because they're doing a reposition link into a focus.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we got our first shot. Ooh.
Oof! Just roll natties. We got our first just roll natties of the game. I say this every time, but the key to winning X-wing is to just roll natties. If you can get really good at rolling natties, you're going to win a lot of X-wing games.
So the Jedi Knight is now ionized.
That's real bad. That is real bad. Because Daniel really wanted to shove that Jedi Knight right down Tell's throat.
Yep.
And now Ion prevents great Ion change, by the way. Now Ion prevents any shenanigans besides that focus. Whereas prior to the Ion change, a Jedi Knight might laugh at an Ion token a little bit, right? Because they would have been able to use their repositioning anyway.
Yeah.
Au contraire, mon frere now.
Yeah, and unless Daniel moves one of his other ships in range to burn their lock with the chopper, the Jedi Knight's not going to get his focus either.
Yep. Okay, so Daniel asks an excellent question. Can Ahsoka give the Jedi Knight an action with her ability prior to it executing the Ion maneuver? I think when you're Ioned, the new ruling is that you just don't get any other action, right? Even a coordinate?
Yeah, you can only focus.
Yep. But that might be... that might be okay. I mean, you might want to do that anyway. Well, no, then you still wouldn't be able to focus in your own action. So I don't know. I don't know that there's any point. I think he's going to be better off just, using that for something else. All right, so there is the Protorp shot. This leaves Wolf with the choice of spending the lock or not. He is. Yep. All right.
Ooh.
Oof. So that's going to be hit, crit. That's pretty good.
Yeah, nothing the Y-Wing can do about that since those crits weren't there to start.
Well, that's true. Wow, that's a good point.
Y-Wing's taking a crit through the shields.
Yep. That's a brutal opening engage for poor Daniel here. It looks like we might have found somebody whose dice like...
Oh, no. And a weapons failure on the Y-Wing.
Oh, and that is the Y-Wing that has plasma torps and ion cannon turret, so that's super unfun. So we may have found somebody who Vassal likes more than it likes Daniel, dice-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of surprised that that Daniel had Ahsoka use her ability on herself and not on that Y-Wing, just so he could get a lock and get a torpedo off into the Z.
Yeah, I'm going to double check Ahsoka's ability real quick here. Yeah, it's Ahsoka's ability is to give an action, so yeah, so that action still has to be a focus. Yeah. So not going to help the Jedi Knight.
Nope. Nothing for Ahsoka.
All right, so the Jedi Knight's going to fire. This is an interesting call here. So yeah, firing at Tell, I think that's the right call.
Yeah.
Because the Z is just not enough points to matter. And it looks like they're both range 3 anyway. Average roll. Oh man,
Yep.
Daniel, your dice.
Planks a shield.
Yep.
Here comes a 1-die primary shot.
Oh boy, that's sad. Yeah, because he doesn't have a lock to throw munitions out there. Range 3, 1 die. But this is where Daniel's dice often would work. So he'll get a crit. Cad will roll. Oh, never mind. Oh, he rolled too many dice too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
I called it. All right. Here comes quad blanks. Nope. Never mind. I forgot. The dice like wolf. So, and now to the Z. So range 3 shot onto the Jedi Knight. That's strong roll. Just roll
Yeah.
natties. Oh my
Hey.
god. Just like I said, the key to X-Wing, everybody. Just roll natties. Okay, so Brandon, so Daniel had a tough round here. I would argue. How do you?
Yeah.
What do you do if you are Daniel to try to unfuck yourself?
I think he's got to get all his guns in on something here.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because Daniel's in a tight spot because with that the second Y-wing being so far back, I don't think he really has a great option to get him into the fight. And now I think he's going to have to pick a lane here and either commit to Talon the pirate or go after Cad and Dalen.
Yeah, and I think if he weren't ioned with the Jedi Knight, he'd have more of a choice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think at this point, that almost makes him have to commit to trying to take Tell off the board.
Yeah, and hope his weapons failure Y-wing survives the second torpedo from Cad.
Yeah, I mean, because with that in mind, I mean, I don't think it leaves a tough choice for Cat at all. I mean, you could at this point, I guess, just say, all right, well, rather than all guns, I could, he could just try to predict that Cad's going to come in like with a 3 bank fast and try to put that Y-wing in the way. But then you're losing that Y-wing
Yeah.
like this turn because Dalen can probably take it off the board. Um, so I mean, which means that you don't worry about that and do a 1 bank, fix the weapons failure. Um, well, maybe not even that, right? Because you're going to get shot by Cad before you even get a chance to do anything. I mean, you could do something cheeky with that Y-wing, like a K turn.
Yeah.
But you know, in fact, that's probably honestly that's probably what I would do. I probably would do a K turn with that Y wing and hope that that means only one gun is on me and it's Dalen. You might still then have your ion arc on Tell that way, and
Yep.
that's probably your only chance to get 4 guns on. And then the rest of the list is pretty straightforward, right? The Jedi Knight's going to go one forward. Ahsoka then just does a bank, and then that other Y's got to get on its horse. I mean, actually the challenge there, of course, is that Ahsoka has to move after that Y. So if you get on your horse, then you have to account for that with Ahsoka, which is going to be
Unless
somewhat
he
problematic. Go ahead.
unless he banks the Y-wing, like he did which I think he's
Mm.
probably going to do, because he likes to. Daniel likes to have his ships kind of follow in a loose formation like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if that Y-wing banked up to where the other one is right now.
Yeah, you could do that. But then I'm not sure you're going to have, if you did bank that Y, you may not have arc on Tell, which may
Yeah.
not matter if it's a two die plink shot from way downtown. So maybe getting an extra gun on CAD, and the threat of a bomb in that direction is the better play. One way or the other, if the one thing Daniel wants to get out of this turn is to maybe find a way that Dalen doesn't have a shot this turn,
Yes.
and um, and I think it wouldn't, pending what he does with the first Y wing, it's not that hard to make sure Dalen doesn't have a good shot this turn. It's just he doesn't really have an optimal set of moves either, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this will be interesting. If you're Wolf, then what are your ideal moves from your perspective, Brandon?
I think you slow roll, probably just one, maybe a bank from the Z, one straight Tell, or maybe even just bank. Maybe bank both of them in. Just do a one bank and lay into that Jedi. Uh,
So you're thinking like maybe one bank from each. Is there any world in which you would think about like jamming the Z in there and just giving Daniel a tough choice there about, do I give up a range one shot to this Z on something that maybe I wouldn't normally be worried about, but now that Z is right in my face, uh, or
yeah, my thought there is just that if you bring the Z in slow, you may not get him close enough to for the Jedi Knight to jam him,
fair
and
point.
then he's gonna have to jam himself.
That's going to be close. I think even like a one bank probably puts him in range one,
Yeah, it
unfortunately.
might.
Um, and in that case, I almost feel like I mean, do you just go right into the Jedi Knight and feedback array the fucker? Like that's the fun thing about
Yeah,
a scum list like this is that it does leave a lot of really fun, dirty tricks you could potentially do with a ship that you don't care about because it's only 24 points. So
yeah,
um, 'cause that's actually the hard to me. That's actually I'm a little bit more of an aggressive player than you are, Brandon. I think. You, which is to say, I'm not as smart a player as you are, and
yeah,
so I'm thinking about the ways that I could um, complicate Daniel's thinking. Like when I play either against you or a player like Daniel, who are a bit more methodical than I am, what I, from my perspective, what I'm trying to do is where I can, because I do sometimes. So I categorize my play style as what we would call in poker loose aggressive. I mean, tight aggressive. So I play conservative up until a point, and then I get aggressive where I feel like it has value, which means that I can be predictable. And you've definitely predicted, my moves in games we've played in the past. But there will be key moments in the game where I'm looking for an opportunity to complicate your decision making or surprise you, right?
yeah,
And if I'm Wolf and I'm that tight aggressive player, this is a moment where I go, okay, is there value to getting crazy with the Z, right? Just in a way that might not have been predictable.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
that's absolutely a viable option for him here.
yeah. Now Alex suggests in chat that a 4K with the Z would be interesting. I'm not sure. I worry whether I would have Arc immediately with that 4K. Um, I don't hate that idea, but I also don't love it. I think I would want guns guaranteed shots on target this turn, and myself with my aggressive play. So I think the 3 bank is my move. So anyway,
Yeah.
what do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, a 3 bank or
It also clears space for tell. I mean,
yes. And
and that's the most important thing from my perspective. And Wolf is very much thinking very hard about his turn here, which makes total sense. Even though some of his moves are pretty straightforward, um, this is the sort of turn where you can lose a game when you were in the lead if you get too aggressive. And by the way, that is my way. um, so I think actually the toughest decision here is what do you do with Dalen so that CAD can do
yeah,
whatever CAD wants and Dalen has at least a chance at a shot. So what's your thinking there, Brandon?
I think you have to do a 4 straight and hope it
Yeah,
clears CAD.
yeah. Because ultimately, like, if you don't have a token with Dalen, who cares, right?
Yeah, it's not the
Because
worst thing in the world.
yeah, because if you don't have a token, you also probably wouldn't be getting a shot if you don't clear it. I say that was kind of my thinking too. Is just go as fast as you can and hope you clear CAD. Do you think he clears CAD with a 4 forward?
It's going to be real close.
It is really close. And Brandon, you've talked a little bit about how getting used to the top down perspective in Vassal has been kind of tough for you. So
Yeah,
um,
I still not there yet.
yeah, yeah, it is hard, right? Because we play from essentially isometric view in real life, and when you play hundreds of games from that view, being thrown into a top down, which should be easier, right? Because not only is it
Yeah,
top down, it's also all the movement is handled so you take out all of the human error of template moves and accidentally bumping other ships, etc. Um, and yet it
yeah.
can be so weird to suddenly have to look at it and go, I'm not sure if the 4 forward makes it or not. So what's your actually? Let's talk about that because you're new to Vassal with these 2 tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you liking or disliking Vassal play?
It's nice being able to play right now, and I think I'd definitely keep it up just to have ways to get more games in too, and at least test stuff out because I like list building, so I've got dozens of lists I never get on the table, and
Yeah, right. Um, yeah, so actually, and one of the things I mentioned last night as we were talking about your matchup and the militant casuals in general is you're one of our more accomplished players in the squadron, and so how many live games were you getting sort of per week prior to quarantine?
uh, like 2 or 3. It was just GKMV once a week, but yeah, it's not definitely not as much as I was getting in toward the end of first edition there, but yeah,
Yeah.
whenever we get out of quarantine, I'm gonna try to get another night in every other week or so.
Yeah. When I was living in the Bay Area, I was very fortunate. I was getting, two nights and a weekend day in uh, back then, and that could be like 5 or 6 games a week plus tournaments. Um,
Yeah, and
uh,
I don't think we've done too many of the Saturday pickup games since you moved.
aw, which is funny because it did take me about 9 months to get the Saturday pickup games happening here, but once I got that moving, which was really starting to take off as we got into for about 3 months prior to quarantine. I was getting a good 4 games in a week, but and so not really needing to rely on Vassal for extra games. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Maybe one thing that we will get out of this is that more of the militant casuals will uh, be using Vassal more often
Yeah.
for games in between. So Daniel did choose to play fairly conservative with the Y and just do a bank and get all guns on tell. Um, this does make me feel though like that Y wing's not going to be there. He fixed the crit rather than give himself a defensive buff. Um, the other Y wing did just a 2 forward, so it's not really going to be in Ahsoka's way. The Z did as I wondered, do a 3 bank to get in there and be a jerk. There's Dalen's 4, and it does
Oh,
just barely clear CAD.
that
So
was the 3.
oh wow, medium bases everybody.
Yeah.
What the? Okay. Well, I turn in my X-wing card, guys. Why am I even commentating? I'm the worst. All right, so it looks like the Jedi Knight is absolutely going to bump, and that Z is not going to
Yeah.
have a focus.
And then the Jedi Knight's going to get bug zapped.
Yes, he will, which is amazing. Well, I mean, it does leave the Z with a decision, right? Because the Z forgoes its attack if it uses feedback array. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but now that the Jedi Knight's no longer ionized, Ahsoka could use her ability to give it a barrel roll.
Right. Yep. So the Z95 gets jammed as we expected. And what did the Z target lock? Oh, it target locked the rock. That's right.
Yeah.
So here's where this is this is where as we talked about at the beginning of the game, the Z doing the target lock didn't really make a ton of sense because it doesn't matter given the initiatives, but still hilarious that Sir Wolf offered the target lock up. And yep, Ahsoka gets guns in. Does not have CLT active at the moment on the Z95. And Daniel's got a tough decision here about whether to take the Jedi Knight off. He could also just give the Jedi Knight a focus, but I feel like Ahsoka is not in a great position here. I mean, Cad could come in and maybe what Daniel was hoping here is that Wolf will have to make a tough decision about who to lock for the follow-up proton torpedo, and maybe he wants to make Ahsoka kind of a tasty target for that follow-up. I don't know.
Yeah. Looks like he's asking about if he can do something else with the Jedi
I'm gonna have to
Knight
look
now.
at the rules reference real quick. So
Right, because the token's gone, so he's not ionized anymore.
right, but I'm pretty sure it's about so just let them know I'm looking at the rules reference on this because there was that. I'm just gonna go to the not errata, but the FAQ. I mean, yeah, he's not ionized anymore, so he should be able to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So can you confirm that in chat for them? So because the ion token doesn't go away until after you've completed the maneuver step, it matters
Yep.
for things like fine-tuned controls, etc. But once the ion token is gone, yeah, he's fine. An ionized ship cannot perform any action except the focus action. No longer ionized. Have fun. Daniel, why are you asking rules questions? After the ship finishes the activation, it removes all of its ion tokens. The rule specifically says after the ship finishes this activation, it removes all of its ion tokens. So from there forward, he can be coordinated.
Yeah.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Which is actually, that's actually a, really good synergy for the Jedi Knight and Ahsoka. Is since they're both at 3, and the Jedi Knight's always going to be in front of Ahsoka because it's the tank. That's a pretty good, combo
Yeah.
he's got there. Okay, so Ahsoka focuses herself, which I think is the right call, and Tell does not bank in, which means that he's going to be. It looks like he's going to be limited to a primary shot this
Yeah.
turn. I wonder if he thought that with the straight maneuver and the ion that Tell would be still in that front arc. I mean, it does. The forward move here does make it easier for Tell to stay in the action with the crazy engine, dial thing that the jump masters have going. But I think I would have turned in anyway myself, or banked in. But
Yeah.
it's fine. He's a little close to the board edge. I don't, he might have been thinking that he would just 4K after this, but I would not risk a 4K with a big base right there at that edge. And the sloop's possible, but also a little scary. Oh, what's he doing?
Oh.
Is he gonna
he
barrel
gonna-
roll in?
I don't know if that's gonna fit.
He is trying to barrel roll in. No valid positions.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was close, but I think the gas cloud screws up both the straight and the back, and I think the Z screws up the front. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. That's fine. I mean,
It's a plasma torpedo.
yeah, who cares? Also, that does say something. It does say that Wolf is expecting to switch targets with his second Protorp. But I think maybe now he won't. Oh, okay.
Oh, he'll be.
He's too
He's
close
too
to
close for
Protorp that
Torp.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you? So does he Protorp Ahsoka?
I mean,
Or
that's
the
what I
Jedi
was.
Knight?
That's what I think that's why Daniel ended up choosing the focus for Ahsoka over giving an action to the Jedi Knight. Is he expected Cad to come in this fast? I mean, I think honestly, I think you just focus and play it by ear, where what you do with Cad. Like I think Tell can still do a shot at the damage Y, and then you decide who you're going to attack with Cad based on how much damage you do to the Red Squadron. Like if you could take it off the board with Cad, then after Tell's shot, then you choose violence. You take a ship off
Yeah.
the board
Well,
personally.
I mean, he's got 3 guns on that Y-wing right now.
Yeah. The only problem is that Dalen Dalen gets to go before it too, right? Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
he's got to make the CAD decision before
Yeah.
Dalen fires, and that's what's tough. Because I think you'd want to let Dalen do that work, but I'm
So
not sure
he's
you can.
locking.
Yeah. I would. I think I think Ahsoka is a good call.
Or either of the Jedi here would be a.
Yeah, that's true. You could go after the Jedi Knight, try to get Chopper off the board. And that's fewer defensive dice and no defensive token, so not a bad idea. I mean, the problem for Wolf here is he can't focus fire with all of his ships, so that leaves him making more difficult targeting priority decisions. 3 of his ships can hit Ahsoka, but I don't think Ahsoka is the most worthwhile target, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. No, I mean and the Jedi Knight's the big gun in the list, so.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about point values and win condition here for Wolf. So if we go through Daniel's list, so the Jedi Knight is 61 points. It's by far the most valuable piece. I would probably try to get that off the board.
Yeah.
The Red Squadron Bomber's already given up half points, I think. Yes. So the
Yep.
one he damaged is 45. The one that he hasn't damaged yet is 44. And Ahsoka's only 46.
Yep. And he's locking the Jedi Knight there.
Yeah, that's a good call. So, and then, from Daniel's win condition, if we look at Wolf's list, Wolf's most tasty target is honestly Cat at 67 points. And I don't think Daniel's in a good position to do anything about that this turn. So I think you just focus fire Tell. Tell's 50 points. Dalen's not going to get shot. Dalen's 58. So by the way, that 4K on the Y would have been pretty good, I think, if Daniel had done it. And this is why we don't let Daniel in the booth, because I think that would have maybe changed his decision making there by calling out the 4K.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going at the damaged Y-wing. Good roll.
Yep.
Just roll natties. But wait.
He fixed the crit.
He did fix the crit. Yep.
Yep.
Good call.
Still taking 2.
Yep. Which, whatever. I mean, you're not dead.
Yep.
So that actually leaves Wolf with, well, but it leaves Wolf with a tough decision, maybe down the road. No, maybe not. Dalen can't hit the Jedi Knight, so I think he just goes with what he planned to do and puts a torp into the Jedi Knight, and then hopes Dalen can finish off that Y. That'll be 3 versus 2 at range 3. He's got a token, and the Y does not, so that's probably a dead Y. All right, here comes the pain. Welcome to our CAD Pro Torp meta, everybody. Oh, is he thinking? No, Wolf, don't change your mind, Wolf. Don't change your mind, buddy.
It's just a plasma torpedo. Tell's probably not going to have shields by the time that Y-wing fires anyway.
I mean, the Y-wing very likely dies before it fires because Dalen still has that shot, right? So, yeah, and as you say, even if it does live, it's 3 dice versus 2. Neither of them have mods.
He's doing taking the torpedo shot.
Yeah, it's the right call.
Yeah. Oof.
That is about as good as it could go for the Jedi Knight here.
Yeah.
And yeah, what a turn of events for. I mean, that's the problem that's the problem with Pro Torps and single mods. So, CAD got maximum value the first shot, but minimal value the second. Should have done a red move. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, it did force Daniel to spend the Force.
It did. That has value, for sure.
That's gonna be a range
Dalen
2
might
shot.
have a range 3 at the Jedi Knight. I don't think you take that shot now, but
no, I think you shoot the Y-wing at range 2.
So there it is for everybody. I've used the firing options. It does have bullseye on the second Y.
Too bad proton rockets are range 2.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so he's going at the Y-wing. It is range 2, so it is 3 versus 1. So that Y-wing probably goes down here, unless it's a total blank out.
Oh no! One hit.
Oh no, indeed. And that crit gets changed.
Yep.
Well, that worked out for Daniel. Oh,
No
okay.
damage. Ooh.
Okay, guys.
Wow.
All right, everybody. Now we're seeing how the dice favor everybody in this game. Things are staying exciting. Well, yeah, an interesting thought that Alex notes here is that, uh, the Y that is coming up does have an ion cannon turret um, that he could use on CAD. Uh,
Yeah.
but he is going at Tell at range 2 with I would imagine that has to be the plasma torps. Oh no,
Oh,
wait.
it's the Jedi Knight.
This is the Jedi Knight. Never mind. Right. So
So,
no nothing there. But honestly, if Daniel just gets out of this round in this position, he is, you know, he's he's gotten through what probably could have been catastrophic.
yeah. Right. I think he's still down in the damage race, but
Yeah.
yeah, this turn could have gone a lot worse for him.
Yep. Um, okay, so Ahsoka has a range 2 on Tell, but a range 1 on the Z. Yeah, and that's without. I think that's the right call. Oh wow! And then just spends the
Yeah.
focus token.
Oh.
Half point on the Z.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you have 12 points.
13. It's a 25-point
Is it
Z.
25? It is
Yeah.
25. Oh, with the feedback array. I forgot
Yep.
about that. Yep. All right. But that focus token is gone.
Oh, and so now if the fun thing there, if the Z feedback arrays, it kills itself.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, so Tell still has shield, so this plasma torp
Yep.
could hurt.
Yeah, I mean 3 reds versus two greens. You would expect to. Yeah, you're gonna put that damage through.
Yep. There it is.
Yep. So we're gonna get 3 damage out of it.
Yeah.
And that will be half points on Tell, I think. Yep. All right. Well,
Is it?
that
No,
changes.
he's one away.
Isn't it 6 and no? I guess
Because it's 9 health.
9 health. 5 and or 6 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. That's a good roll for the Z. Or no, for the
That's the Y
that's
wing
the
into
Y.
the Z.
God, this Daniel.
Oh,
How
no.
how is it that Daniel manages to turn what could have been a catastrophic turn into absolute brutality?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this goes back to as I said, I think Cad should have probably focused and played it by ear. Personally, I mean, he did. I don't think the decision he made was a bad one per se. To target lock the Jedi Knight. I just, knowing what double mod or single mods and torps can do to you, um, it would have given him the flexibility to choose a target after the initial shot from Tell. But woof,
Yeah.
that went bad. So 25 for the pirate, and half points
20.
on not half points on Tell yet. So just 25. Go ahead.
Yeah, 25-23 in Daniel's favor.
So it's anybody's game.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now though it does kind of I think with the Z off the board, I would argue that Daniel has the advantage going forward, even with only 2 health left on that Y. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So what do you do if you're to maximize your next turn? What do you do if you're a wolf here?
I, it, I'm still looking at Dalen, and it's like he doesn't have great options there unless the 3-bank would clear CAD.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw the 3 forward go further than we thought last turn.
Yeah. So
and I wonder if a 3 forward is enough to get past Cat at least. That angle Cad's at worries me a little bit, but
Yeah. And then Tell, I think you have to start banking him in to get around the board, so you get away from the board edge. And
Yeah. Like I think if Tell had banked last turn, he'd have a 4K available to him
yep,
now, which would I think be better than the position he's in. I think the real question is, what do you think Daniel's going to do with that Jedi Knight now? Does the Jedi Knight one hard towards CAD? Uh, that Y doesn't have real great options. That it only has 2 health left. So do you
yeah,
too hard through the gas cloud and hope to catch Wolf by surprise there? Um,
yeah, that's not a bad option.
yeah, I think that. So I think what I would do if I were Daniel here is I think I would too hard the Y. I'd probably one hard the Jedi Knight. Um, in which case I probably one hard. Well, actually, we've got to figure out the other Y first. So I think I two hard the Y towards the bomber Y towards CAD to bring the bomb into play next turn.
Yeah,
That makes Ahsoka's one hard probably not worthwhile. So if the Jedi Knight one hard's in front of Ahsoka, I mean, I guess Ahsoka could move first. Ahsoka could two bank towards Tell, and then barrel roll to maybe try to bump Tell's hard turn, and then the Jedi Knight one hards. So I think that's what I
well,
would do. What would you
well,
do, Brandon?
Tell's stress, so he's probably going to bank.
Yeah, he does need to clear that stress, and his primary weapon is still in action with a bank. That's fair.
Yeah,
Um, but I would probably be more aggressive than that personally as Wolf. But then again, that's how I lose games.
yeah, I think Tell really wants a focus going into this round.
Um, Alex suggests that the Jedi Knight could 5K. I'd be worried that the 5K doesn't clear Tell's
Yeah,
butt, and I wouldn't risk it because I don't want to be stressed. And I want to be honestly, I don't really care about jamming Tell going forward. I care about jamming Dalen down the road and Cad if I'm Daniel, but that's
yeah.
just me.
I I kind of like a sloop from the Jedi.
Sloop to the right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't hate that. The only gun you'll have on is a gun on Tell, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
no,
That clears space for Ahsoka. Um, you could do, in fact, Ahsoka's two bank, give the Jedi Knight a focus, and then do the sloop, in fact, and be in good shape that way. Ahsoka's back to full force, so no harm in using one of those force to give an action out. So, but I definitely too hard the bomber towards Cad and Dalen, like no matter what,
yeah,
because you want to get that cluster mine into play, and it's 45 points. You don't care if it gets wrecked. So, and you
yeah,
get in the
and
way
just
of Dalen, etc.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just a note on Ahsoka's ability that it works on stress ships too.
Oh, that's fair. So you can do the sloop first. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Um, some good old AP5 action going on there.
yeah,
All right. Well, this is going to be a really interesting turn because Wolf does need to pull some magic out of his hat, I think, to get back in the lead. I mean, of course, what is in his favor here is that both Cad and Dalen are undamaged, and there's not a. I mean, unless Daniel decides to go whole hog against Dalen here, um, which he could. Uh, that's probably not going to change. I would
yeah.
expect Daniel to try to take Teltravura off the board and focus on only having to deal with 2 ships. So we'll
Oh,
see.
at least for the time being.
Yeah. Honestly, knowing that Tell kind of has to do a one bank, you could use the damaged bomber to get in front of it with a 3 hard
Yeah.
and just be like YOLO. If Tell is like, I'm gonna just a bank and take an action, be like, nope, no, you're not. It doesn't hurt you. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be stressed, but you've only got 2 health left. You're sure not doing much the rest of the game one way or the other. Actually, these old school Ys still have the 3 hard, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Cool.
red,
Cool.
but
Yeah. 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 Roll all 1.0 dial. Um. So if you were, let's maybe put this in a more hypothetical situation. So, what is your goal as Wolf for the next turn? Because your maneuver decisions are really tough here, given
um,
Daniel's positioning.
I think at this point you need to get guns on the Jedi Knight and get that thing off the board.
Yeah. Yeah. I just given where Dalen is, that's just so hard. Like if Cad
Yeah.
wasn't in the way, then I think it's an easy call to just bank towards the corner to make sure you're going to have a gun on that Jedi Knight. But uh, having Cad come in faster and in front, I think has been a detriment to Wolf's. Um,
Yeah, that's always tough when you get
sort
yourself.
of sort of like engagements, I guess would be the way I would put it. All right,
Yeah.
no bomb in the system phase, no surprise there.
See what the
And
Y wings do.
there's the
Yep.
2
There's
hard that
the.
I thought he might do. um, I think I like that call. I don't know that there's extra value in going and blocking Tell, to be perfectly honest. Um, and there's the other 2 hard to get in Cad's way. So pretty much what we predicted from Daniel. Not flashy. Um, Flashiness comes from the Jedi anyway. Oh,
Yep.
that's an
There's
aggressive bank in. I
3
like
bank.
it. And it fit.
Yeah.
Well done, Wolf. Well done. So as you mentioned, your perspective from Wolf's side is to get guns on the Jedi Knight, the most valuable piece in Daniel's list, and even a 2 sloop probably puts the Jedi Knight in that arc. So well played. Uh, I wonder if Cad does a 4K here. They have a 4 or 5K on that dial. Let me check.
It's a 4K.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because you get your double focus. Oh,
Well,
he doesn't have the
ooh,
target lock
no.
anymore, but
No, I don't like that
ooh.
because it would put Cad right behind
Oh yeah.
the bomber.
Good point. Yes.
And
Yeah,
so he
that's
barrel rolled Dalen, so we're probably going to see Cad.
do it too hard
Yeah.
or a bank. Let's see. Yeah, if he thought about that, if he thought about that too hard coming, I would expect. I mean, he could one hard, but I bet he was planning on a 2 bank. There is the 2 sloop, so you got that
Yep.
right.
Gonna jam Till.
Yep.
He's still got that lock on the cloud, but why not?
Right. And
Ah,
left turn. So yeah, putting guns on Tell. He wants to get Tell off the board. Though that's a tough position now given where Dalen is. looks like, I mean, Dalen hasn't lost his shield, so can't use its ability, but
But it does look like he's got bullseye on Ahsoka.
yeah. And he's going to give that focus or target lock to the Jedi. I guess at this point I'd give the target lock on
Yeah.
Tell and just try to get Tell off the board.
Yep. Exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. You've got that
Dalen had a
force
focus right now.
point. So what's that?
Yeah. If Dalen had a focus right now, he'd be really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, barrel rolling out of the bullseye. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Though it does leave him with no force.
Yep.
I wonder if Cad might have done, we'll see shortly, but maybe a 3-bank with, oh God, that would still put you in danger
Yeah.
from a bomb.
Yeah, and
So
that gets Ahsoka out of the bomb drop too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, there's the 1-bank. Clears that stress. Takes the focus. Yeah. All benefit for having locked that gas cloud in the beginning.
Yeah. Ooh.
Did he do? Yeah, he did do the 1 hard. I wondered if he might.
Yeah. I like that move.
Yeah.
And barrel roll and focus.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you could barrel roll left.
Yeah.
Right, and get a shot at the Jedi Knight.
Daniel did not see that one coming.
I mean, I didn't think about the repositioning and focus after the fact, but I thought the 1 hard was a possibility.
Oh, or does he? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Because I was
What
just
were
thinking,
you
it's like,
thinking?
well, he could just stay there, not link the focus, and the next turn, K-turn or
Yeah.
Talon roll and get 2 focuses.
It's true. Man, that's a great move from Wolf there. He gets
Yeah.
out of the bomber's front arc. He gets out of the bomber's ability to use the cluster.
I really like that move.
Yeah, that's that 1 hard with the planned barrel roll is fantastic. And he's got a chance to really put some damage through on the Jedi Knight here.
Yep.
2 range 1 shots. Now single modded, of course, so the dice can let him down. So yeah, 3 versus 2 on the Jedi Knight. Ahsoka's going to be able to put some damage on Tell, though. He could kill Tell with CLT.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Just roll what, fellas? That's how you win at X-Wing. Oh, that's brutal. And Tell used the focus there, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Resilient bugger. Ooh.
Oh, and the worst possible roll for Cat as well.
Oh.
Yep. Now, the upside to this is that it does leave the Jedi Knight with only the target lock, but
Yes.
man.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah. Stupid Jedi. All right, so Dalen, I think you just pummel the bomber at range 1.
You've got bullseye, so it can't spend its focus.
Yeah. I mean, you could try to strip the token from Ahsoka, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Tell's taken 2 shots. Tell's gonna die, even if you strip that focus. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ahsoka doesn't have any force left.
Yeah, I mean, the other problem here is that Ahsoka's not worth as much,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so he's going into the Y way.
Yeah. And gonna do.
2.
Oh
Yep.
man.
Oof.
Woof indeed. Now he'll be able to get that shield back if he loses one here.
Yeah.
Actually, when does Dalen's ability go?
Uh,
You're more
Start
of
of
a
engagement.
start of engagement. All right, so no.
So yeah, the timing window on it's weird, but
Poor Wolf. Did not get rewarded for excellent moves.
yeah. And Daniel being a classy guy in the chat there, letting Wolf know he would have reminded him to use his prockets if he had had a focus.
Mm-hmm. Add that focus. Spend the focus, I guess. There's no harm in it. Nobody else is firing at you. So. All right. So 2 hull down. That's half points on Tell.
Yep.
So 25 more points to Daniel. So I think he's at 50 here.
Yep.
And now the potential kill shot, unless Daniel blanks. That is not a blank. But a natty double evade will save Tell, and it's just not there.
Also tells down to 1.
Oh, of course.
So he's not dead yet. Well, he's not dead yet. That's only 4. He had 5 left.
Ah, that's true. Okay.
So
And then, of course,
so
Tell will, of course, not actually be dead, which is the great
Yeah.
thing about Tell. All right. That's right. I thought he started the round with 4 health, but he started the round with 5. So. And of course, yeah, Tell preserves those points even when it dies the first time. That is why I love Tell. I really like Tell with R5, by the way. So just come back on and start regenning. You won't get back to half points, but you will still be obnoxious.
So he does have a range 1 with the ion cannon on CAD.
Yeah.
But through the cloud.
And CAD won't get the benefit of the ship ability, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, what do we got? 4 versus 4.
Or he could go into Dalen.
He could. Then you've got to get 2 ions through, and you've got the cloud. I think I'd go into CAD, to be honest. An ion CAD is a much, I think.
Yeah. But I
better.
mean, 4 on 4 with the cloud and the focus, I don't. But then it is Daniel rolling, so.
I mean, even with Dalen, it's 3 on 3 with the cloud. No, yeah, 3 on 3.
3
right?
on 2. 2. It's only got 1 green.
Right. Okay, 3 on 2 with that. Yeah, okay. Maybe mathematically that's a better call. I don't, but you still probably only get 1 ion through, so you're not ioning Dalen that way. Well,
Yeah.
Daniel did go against Dalen, and Dalen laughs. So there we go. I think you get more out of possibility you ion CAD than you get out of putting a single ion token on Dalen, but bygones. All right. I thought maybe that second Y-Wing would have had a primary back on Dalen. That angle looks pretty close.
Yeah.
But I guess, yep, didn't have a shot. All right, so that's flipped pretty heavily into Daniel's. I mean, Daniel already had the advantage, but getting out of that with only taking a single damage on the Jedi Knight. Did he take a single damage
Yeah.
on the Jedi Knight?
Yeah. He
I
lost one
think he
shield.
did, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's just outstanding, right?
Yeah. That was a really rough turn for Wolf. I think he did everything right there and
Yeah.
just didn't get rewarded for it.
Yeah. So I think. So let's talk about how is there a way for Wolf to keep Tell alive and do some real damage this turn? What are you thinking Daniel does, and how do you move your ships to get something out of this turn if you are Wolf?
Hmm. Yeah, I think the good thing here for Wolf is that the Ahsoka, I don't think her hard turns are gonna fit. So I mean, I think he's gotta just keep banking Tell and hope he can punch some damage through this round.
Yeah, because of where Dalen is, you probably don't want to do something like a hard turn with Tell, right?
Right, and I think we're gonna see the cluster mines coming out this
Oh
turn
yeah, that's a good
too.
point.
So
Yeah.
I think if Tell turns in, he's gonna clip one of those mines.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that would take Tell off the board for this turn for sure. Um, and yeah, even Dalen's not in a great spot to deal with clusters. I think you could probably bank Dalen and avoid the clusters, kind of move through, the template area instead of the bomb area. But what's the best move with CAD
Yeah,
here?
kind of kind of wish Cad wasn't stressed here because,
Yeah, it would be a great time for a K Turner or Talon.
or even just a one hard.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's true. I mean, you could
yeah,
one hard and just be like, what are actions anyway?
yeah. I mean, assume you're gonna get jammed by the Jedi, and
It just, that still makes things tough for you next turn. I
yep,
mean, you could also, I mean, knowing that you're probably getting jammed, uh, you could pursue the non-bomber.
yep, two bank toward
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah, two bank. I mean, it's going to move first. Do you think about a two hard to make sure you're going to have arc?
yeah,
At least you
just
clear stress. You probably go far enough that you don't go over that gas cloud a second time.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's
you probably don't have anybody firing at CAD that way, and if they do, you've got the gas cloud. I mean, it's not great because you could end up depleted.
yep.
But if you're Daniel, do you just K turn that bomber?
I mean, why not?
Both
Or
bombers, maybe even.
I think you definitely K turn the second one with the mines.
Yeah.
I mean, the damage one. I mean, maybe just two hearted again. Keep the
Yeah,
ion
keep the
turret
ion
in
in
play.
play. Yeah.
And Daniel flies a lot of Republic, and he does like to two hard those ships.
Yes, he does. Mostly arcs, though.
Yeah.
um, Yeah. And then, what do you expect Ahsoka and the Jedi Knight to do?
Oh, that's the
They've got a lot
tougher
of
one.
options here, right?
I think wouldn't be surprised to see a sloop from Ahsoka.
Yeah, it's two sloop
She,
up to the right.
yeah, because I think that's the only way she can keep guns on Tell.
Yeah. And she won't take a shot from Tell that way unless Tell moves his primary, which he might. I don't
Yeah,
think it's the right call, but it is a linked action to turn that turret, and he knows he's probably going to end up, in reserve this turn anyway. So why not get a shot? With the Jedi
yeah.
Knight, do you just like two bank over to jam Tell?
I mean, even just the one banks
Oh yeah,
can
yeah,
get in
because you don't
there.
want to end up having to deal with the clusters next turn. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah. Well, this is going to be an exciting turn one way or the other.
yeah,
That is what I will say. Um, it's going to get progressively harder for Wolf to turn this around, but we do have to note, Daniel's lead right now is only 75 points, and killing Tell doesn't change that at all.
yeah.
Or sorry, 75? 50 points, because he's only
Yeah,
got half of Tell.
50-23.
Yeah, 50. So, Tell's just going to come back on the board next turn,
Yep.
even
And
if he
here comes the
dies.
cluster mine.
Yep. Yeah, Tell will slide in right next to that happily.
Yeah.
So, one bank is a good call. There's the 2 hard that you predicted from
Yep.
the bomber. Takes
No strain.
is very happy it's not debris or a rock, but especially debris. No 4K there because probably
Uh,
expecting that if he did that he'd have self bumped. That's kind of why I like the 4K from both of them, but I also get keeping the ion cannon on target.
yeah. Or I mean, you 4K the green bomber first, and then just let
Right.
the other one bump him because he's not getting an action
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Um, he must be thinking Cat is going to turn in. Oh no. Okay. Does oh man. The bump
Oh,
saves Dalen from a bomb roll. Love it. That is expert X-Wing play, everybody. Totally 1000% planned. He knew that the bump was what would save him from that bomb. I mean, 1000%. That is high level X-Wing play. Oh,
interesting.
interesting. I'm not sure I like the 2 forward very much,
Yeah.
but it does
Yeah. It
give
looks
him
like
jam options. Go ahead.
looks like Dalen cleared the nub on the center cluster mine by a pixel.
Yeah. I mean, what's funny is he would never have even come close to that nub except for the bump, but he would have overlapped the end bomb except for the bump. So
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, good times. So who got jammed here? Tell. Yeah, that makes sense. So it looks like the 2 forward is mainly just to give the Jedi Knight the options to get around those bombs easier next turn.
Yeah.
So I get that, but I feel like you could have moved Ahsoka first and gone slower and been fine.
And there's the sloop.
There's the 2 sloop. That ends up actually closer to Tell than I expected, but clears it nonetheless. I wonder if Cat
Now,
just 1 hard or 2 hards left.
2 banks. Did Wolf call the sloop?
Yeah. Well, we're about to find out. Ah, there's the right jam token. Oh, pulls out the sloop. We got an ion shot incoming. I love it.
Oh, I mean, he knew he was getting jammed there, so
Yep. That's
that's
that is a
I
great
like it.
move. I wasn't sure it would keep him on the board, which is why I didn't think about it, but wow. Great call. And I think you jam the Jedi Knight, obviously. I mean, not jam, ion the shit out of it
Yeah,
if you can. All right, so 2 forward. Um, Obviously, you barrel roll left focus, right?
yeah.
And just dogpile Ahsoka and hope this time, not having a target lock doesn't kill you. Of course, that does leave you locked down for next turn if you do take the focus, but I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah, Daniel was not expecting that sloop either.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in an isometric, board state, I would have seen there being
Yeah,
enough space for the 3 sloop to fit, but man. Wow.
yeah, yeah. I think you roll in front of Ahsoka, take the focus, and then
Yeah.
next turn leaves you open to go up and start beating up on the Y-wings.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Because you're not afraid of that bomber's 2 die shot at all.
No.
And the other bomber's not going to be able to ion you that next turn. So yeah, easy call here for Wolf. Man, both these players are so impressive. Here comes the pew pew. No, David, it's not an ion cannon turret. The ion cannon is a forward 1 to 3 weapon on the jumps. You missed this early in the stream when we talked about how that can be something that opponents don't realize because of the way ion cannon turrets work. But Jump Master players know how fun ion cannons are.
Oh, so Daniel's got to spend his force to
Yep.
not get ionized, but
Yep.
that is half points on
That
the
is half
Jedi
points
Knight.
on the Jedi Knight, which is the biggest value piece for Daniel. So that's a good start to the turn.
Yeah, that puts Wolf back in the lead by 4.
Yep. So we've got the. Do you mind? Can you put the if you can get to our YouTube channel, can you put the scoreboard into chat for folks? A link to it.
Oh, I'm running it off my desktop right now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's right.
Yeah, I put it in sheets for you, but
Yeah. That's a much better roll, but paint.
yeah, but Ahsoka has to spend her focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolf. Wish I had Fearless.
Yep. But the good thing for him is he didn't have to spend that focus that Cad
Yeah,
has so that the defensive shot or the defense becomes a lot easier there.
yeah.
Now this is super potentially bad for the Jedi Knight as well. So not that the Jedi Knight
He is.
has tokens, but
Yeah, I mean, he's very happy that Dalen does not have a focus here.
yep.
Oh,
Oh, the dice giveth, and the dice taketh away. Well,
that's
that
one
works out.
more.
Yeah, he really wishes he had rolled better on that attack, but you can't be too sad if you still manage to get damage through when you roll 1 out of 4 hits. Um, All right. So now the bombers. So I think the ion cannon probably has a shot on Dalen.
No,
Oh,
the
right,
Jedi
right.
first.
Jedi, of
Yep.
course. Silly me. I forget. For some reason, I'm having a hard time remembering that at this point, Wolf's entire list fires first.
Ooh, just one crit into Tell.
Yeah. Tell's got
Although
a chance, but he's got to roll a
oh,
natty.
he's got a lock there.
Oh.
Oh no, he's not spending it.
Oof.
Oof.
Well, so the smart thing about that is that that lock will stay on
Yep.
Tell when Tell leaves the board. So, he can follow up. Yeah, he's going to just follow up with a shot from Ahsoka on Tell to try to push that damage through. That's not going to do it, though.
Nope.
Oof. All right, well, things have swung right back to Wolf a bit here.
Yeah.
Daniel's complaining a little bit about his dice, but I wouldn't if I was Daniel, because when he sees the log, I think after the game, he's going to realize that his dice have also done very good things for him.
Yeah.
So he does have the range 2 ion shot to finish up on Dalen. This will be 3 versus 1. He'd have to roll natty 3 hits here to ion Dalen, and that's not going to do it.
No.
But it could do a damage, which would be fine. That just means Dalen's going to have to steal from somebody.
Yep. If he gets that bullseye on someone.
Yep. All right, so that's the first damage through on Dalen.
Yeah.
And we move to. Are we really only moving to round 8?
Yeah. I believe
Wow.
so.
It's been a lot of action through 8 rounds.
Yeah.
All right, so they're regenning their force. They've reached the end phase. We're on to round 8. We've got 5 rounds left in this game. You got to be really super happy if you're Wolf here.
Absolutely.
I mean, that Tell still hasn't had to use his ability. The Jedi Knight has only got 2 health left. Cad has some good options here. Dalen has some good options here. I don't think if you're Dalen, I don't think you can risk a bank. Well, I guess I mean because if I'm Ahsoka, I think pretty hard about getting into a space that basically would block Dalen onto one of those bombs. To be perfectly honest.
Well, Dalen's going to move first.
Oh, Dalen does move first.
Yeah. So I think the bank, if he bumps a Jedi, I think that probably puts him on that one cluster.
Yeah. So I feel like what are the K turns on?
4K.
4K. So 4K feels like it hits Ahsoka to me. So I don't know that I'd risk that. So probably, I think if I'm him, those things don't have a 1 hard, right?
They do, but
they
it's
do.
red.
Okay. Do you think a 1 hard to the right is the right play? What would you do? Let me ask you a better question because you're a better player than I am. What do you do with Dalen?
I think I'd probably 2 hard him to the right, move up and engage the Y wing and get the focus.
Yeah, you're not in anybody's way that way. The 1 hard might put you on the gas cloud or put you going through the gas cloud next turn. Is that your kind of thinking on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the 2 hard because you can go get some free points off of that Y-Wing with both Cad and Dalen probably this turn without having to worry too much. Do you just 1 forward with Tell?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I'll tell you what, if he hadn't 3 slooped last turn and it was in this position, a 4K is beautiful.
Yeah.
But, do you like 1 forward and spin your turret, focus stress, or, what do you, I guess since you're moving after the Jedi, we have to think about what's Daniel going to do with those Jedi, right?
Yeah, I think I think Ahsoka probably just maybe a 1 bank fits next to Cad.
You know what? I think it does. Actually, here's what I would do. first. I would one hard the Jedi Knight towards CAD and jam CAD.
Yeah.
And then probably maybe barrel roll left to try to block Tell so that you don't get shot by Tell this turn.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
that's what I would do with that. I think that also would leave you with the space to do, as you say, a one bank from Ahsoka, and Ahsoka then can have, bullseye focus on Tell.
Yeah. I mean, even
Um,
just a sloop to ship right for the Jedi wouldn't be terrible either, because you probably still get the bump on Tell.
You might also end up. I mean, worst case scenario in that, unless. I mean, here's what I would worry about that. So I think you might stay on the board and block Tell with the sloop. I don't know that you'd have range to jam anybody with the Jedi Knight. You're talking about the Jedi Knight slooping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be a little worried that you're taking not an 4-die ion shot that only does 1 damage, but that then Tell has the ability to focus spin
Yeah.
without a jam token. So that's what would worry me about that. And honestly, though, I'm not even sure the barrel roll back would block Tell. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you did the one hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, Daniel's just going to 2-hard the bomber with the ion cannon or the ion
Yep.
cannon turret. Do you think about 4K'ing the other bomber?
I think he probably 2 hards around the
2-hard
cloud
in.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, 2-hard in and just get a shot.
Yeah. I hope CAD's not turning towards you and
Yeah.
trying to
I
keep
just don't
staying
see
down there.
CAD doing anything else. Like,
Yeah.
there's just no value to any other move, I think, for CAD.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have a good way to re-engage the Jedi this
Yeah.
turn. So.
Alex made a really, really excellent point that is worth talking about here is that, we're oftentimes in these matchups, we have a contrast in players where one player is very gut focused and gets their dials down very fast, and the other player is oftentimes, you or Daniel, very much more methodical about your dials. What we do have in this matchup is two very careful planners.
Yep.
Daniel puts his dials on the board sort of in order, but I suspect that Wolf is doing the same thing just in his little room, going dial to dial and then bringing them all out. So, that speaks to how good both of these players are in the planning phase and the activation phase.
Yeah, and I mean, with the limited dial for the Y-Wings, it does make it a little easier for Daniel, too.
That's true. First edition Y-Wing dials, everybody. Yeah, so there's
now that they're just,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, now that the Y-Wings are just out there doing donuts, so...
Yes. All right, so, Lox Dalen, I like that. Really wants to ion the shit out of that ship.
Oh, I mean, and he's still got a plasma in the tube.
Yeah, I don't expect him to have arc this turn, but yeah, that's not a terrible idea at all. And there's, as you said, there's the 2-hard in to just put guns on CAD if he comes this way. Because you're not going to die to CAD and Dalen this turn, probably with that Y-Wing.
Yeah.
So there's right 3.
Ooh.
And gets the bullseye.
So focus, yep, that Y-Wing's eating a proton rocket.
Did I mention that that Y-Wing's definitely going to die this turn? Okay, so there is the sloop that you predicted from the Jedi Knight. I think that probably does block Tell, but I don't think that's going to get him a jam off on either of these guys. But I guess we'll see in a second. Did he jam anybody? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he forgot.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't care. He's just going to take off one of his, target locks. But, it does matter if. This is why. I mean, here's the thing. Actually, if he'd done the one hard, he could have jammed that focus off of Dalen.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't thinking about it in terms of that usage, but they would have given him more options. Oh, does he
Yeah.
have to jam Ahsoka?
Well, Ahsoka has a lock on the Jedi Knight, so
Gotcha.
yeah, because otherwise he'd have to pull his lock off of Tell.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, and there's the one bank.
Yep. So he's going to get a real good shot on Tell with Ahsoka for sure, as
Yep.
we kind of expected. And maybe, maybe the one hard barrel roll would have gotten in Ahsoka's way. Who knows? All right. So there is the block. You were right. The two sloop gets it.
Yeah. Well,
And I don't
Wolf
think
tried
Tell
to do
has
a
arc.
3 straight there. Yeah.
Right.
That was a 3 straight from Tell too.
Yeah.
So he was trying to bail out.
Yep. So Tell will be Sir not firing this turn. Yeah, I just 3 forward was more aggressive than I think was necessary.
Yeah.
But which is weird to say because as we've talked about, I'm the guy who tends to make dumb aggressive moves. But not that was a dumb move from Wolf. I'm not saying that. I don't think it was a necessary aggressive move given the options that Daniel had with his Jedi Knights. Very maneuverable ships. So I do think there's no way Tell doesn't go off the board here in this round.
Range 1 of the CLT. Yeah.
Yeah. With the focus and force. Yep. It's just, I mean, Daniel would have to blank, and then Tell rolls, natty evades.
Yep.
So.
Now, which way is Cad turning?
Yep. There's the two turn, clears the stress.
Doesn't have to reposition.
Oh, man. Just imagine a world in which that focus got jammed off of Dalen, though.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of points on the line, but this has been such a swingy game, and it's just about to swing again.
And the game is so close that.
Yeah. And the thing is even with Tell going off the board, there's actually no points harvested from that. So that's
right.
pretty rough for Daniel. So.
Right, and Cad's not stressed, so he's free to use his ability next turn too.
Oh. I mean, the only problem here is Dalen's a little in the way of the things you would want to do, I think, with Cad, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, I mean,
I guess you could
K-turn, and then you
could
Allen to the right.
Yep. There's that option. Okay, here we go. Here comes the protons.
Oh, no, he's stripping a shield off the Y-wing.
I love it.
Oh, I think that's the first time I've ever seen his ability actually trigger.
Dalen worked. Get that shield. Yes, the question in chat is whether that red squadron still has a plasma. It does, but it's not going to live to fire it. So, no, I get because it's a 2. So I mean, it could live. Who knows? I mean, the red dice for Wolf have been a little bad at times, and it could happen again.
Yeah. So no shot for Tell.
Yep. That's a good roll for Wolf, though.
Yep. Bends his focus.
Natty evade, so that's half points on the Y.
Yep.
And makes the kill very achievable for Dalen.
Because that'll be 5 dice with a focus, and the Y-wing will not be able to spend his.
Yep.
Prockets, why not?
Indeed. Get that Y-wing. Oh.
Oof.
Of course, that does mean that Natty Evade is required to survive, and that is not it.
Nope. Nope.
Can't use focus. Dirty tricks, y'all. That's what the Scum faction is all about. Dirty tricks. So yeah, that's a big swing.
Yeah.
Not just in points, but if that Y-wing was able to get the plasmas off on Dalen, that's kind of a big deal. But it will not now. So yeah, I wonder how different that goes if he had 4K'd, which is probably what I would have done.
Yeah.
I know the 2-turn is tasty, but I don't know. A 2-die attack on Cad feels bad at range 1. Not, Cad would have still been able to boost focus if he wanted to, right? But would not have been procketed by Dalen as a follow-up.
Yeah. Yep, that's going to guarantee the first kill of Tell.
Yep. Indeed. So what's our score at this point?
It is 98-50.
Okay, so 98 for Wolf at this point, 50 for Daniel, and it's still going to be 50 even with Tell going off the board. Because Tell's going to come back. If Tommy's watching this game, try not to mention the flip table button with Tommy around, because just saying that will make him press the button. He did that in our Gloomhaven game. Somebody said, "You forgot to disable the flip table button," and then he clicked the flip table button because somebody had mentioned the flip table button. It was really fun recovering from that in Gloomhaven.
Even just setting up the tabletop game.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Tabletop simulator, where you get all the fun of the setup of a game with none of the fun of the play of the game. All right, so Tell discards all of his current damage cards, which doesn't really matter here. Didn't have any crits that you'd want to get rid of.
Yep.
Redeals out up to 1 less than its hull. And what he'll get to do here is decide where he wants to put Tell on the board for the next turn during setup. And I think we're moving into... Oh, no, I guess the bomber still has a shot with the ion cannon.
Maybe.
I think that's range 2 to the back corner. I think he's got it.
Yeah, there's Tell's 5 new damage cards.
Yep. Oh, God, I love Tell so much. I really do. I don't think people get how sneaky, dirty good not dying and giving up full points the first time really is.
Yeah.
And here obviously in this list he's not backing it up with anything more gross than that, but Tell with the title and R5 is really fun. It stays.
Well, they're sort I'm going to go refill my coffee.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so we did have range 2 there.
Yep. And that new shield that he'd sucked off of the Y-Wing, which, by the way, would have saved the Y-Wing as
Yep.
well.
Hmm.
Huh.
So where do you
Wow.
put Tall?
Did you? So Alex just pointed out that the rules reference is in Yasby and searchable.
Oh, yeah, he just got that up
That
yesterday.
is amazing.
Yeah.
That is so good. Does it include the FAQ stuff though? Yep, there it is.
Yep.
Nice. Oh, that is rad.
Rathos is doing an amazing job with that. Nope. Tell's going to go hide in the corner.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, if this is Tell is awesome because Tell does preserve points, but coming back with 1 health is problematic in a lot of other ways, right?
Yep.
Because you don't want to end up just coming back just to give up those points. So this is why I really like R5 on Tells because it gives you the option to just be like, all right, well I'm gonna peace out as far away from the fight as I can, and at least get back one more hull, right? So that
Yep.
on the next turn I'll have a focus and 2 dice and have a chance at not dying completely. So it's really great, but it's not overpowered because you keep those you keep tokens. So if you go into reserve stressed, you come back out stressed. If you go into reserve with your turret in a suboptimal location, it comes back that way, right? It's not a total reset. So it's mainly a get out of jail free card, not in any sense like a win game button that you're
Yeah.
hammering. So um, yeah. Anyway. All right, so with Tell back on the board at the beginning of setup, Daniel now has to get his Jedi turned around a little bit. So what's our score? Just to be clear.
Let's see. So he's got half a Tell, half a Dead Z's. So 98 to 50.
All right. So if you're Daniel, do you do like a 3 bank with the Jedi Knight just to jam Dalen early. I mean, that does put you at risk of that bomber.
Well,
What do you
well,
do?
Dalen's gonna be gone.
Dalen does move first. Right.
Yeah.
Duh. Yes. He moves. He
So
has initiative. So yeah, you don't even have that option.
yeah.
Um, so this turn, if you're Daniel, do you just focus on taking that bomber out? Because you're expecting Cad to probably do a 2 Talon. Dalen's going to probably 4K. Dalen will be
Yeah.
too far to do anything. Cad will not be close enough that he's really a threat with 2 focus tokens. So, do you with Ahsoka just do a 1 hard, you know, um, boost focus and then maybe just a 2 forward from the Jedi Knight and just take out that bomber to get some points back? What do you think?
Well, that's Daniel's bomber.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I meant with the Jedi Knight. 2 forward with the Jedi Knight. Take out. Oh yeah, duh. Never
yeah.
mind. What am I talking about? Oh God, it's so early. Yeah, duh. Too hard from the bomber, right?
Yeah.
I guess you don't
Yeah.
really have a play to do a lot of damage this turn
Yeah.
and
No,
not risk your ships if you're Daniel, right?
yeah. I mean, it feels like this is kind of a reset turn for both players.
Yeah. Let's see. This bomber does still have plasma torps.
Yep. But none of Wolf's ships have shields left now.
Womp womp. Yeah. Shouldn't have tried to ion that guy last turn, I guess. There's the 4K. No shock.
Means not taking a shot from the Y-wing.
Yeah. I don't think he's got range back on that bomber either.
Yeah. Does he spend a force to boost?
Looks like he might be looking to give an action to the Jedi Knight. No, lock Cad. Yeah. And then doesn't spend the other force, it looks like. It's interesting. I think I might have given that lock to the Jedi Knight on Cad, knowing that Cad's probably 2 Taloning here. And that you can, Ahsoka stress ship.
Yeah, but I think the Jedi Knight's gonna have to jam himself.
Jam the bomber. I mean, you're probably not going to get to use that focus anyway.
Yeah.
Jam the bomber. Or jam... Oh, yeah, you don't want to jam Ahsoka, because then you've wasted... Yeah, see... I wonder if he was worried if he'd given the Jedi Knight the lock that he would have had to then lose that lock immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Jedi Knight does have a lock on Tell still.
Yeah, but who cares?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I see what you mean. Yeah. So jam that lock off, and then you could lock again with the Jedi Knight, I guess.
So Daniel's debating his order here. Does he want to fine tune before he choppers?
I mean, any. I don't think a barrel roll left front gets you to CAD. Yeah, he's going to try it. Nope, okay.
Yep.
Jams CAD. So I like that because then CAD won't get one of the 2 focuses he gets from from the Talon roll. Assuming he did, do a Talon roll,
Yeah.
which.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no. Oh, that's bad. I mean, he's okay. The bomber's not going to be able to do much to him, and the Jedi Knight doesn't have a target lock on him, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
Hasn't moved. Slow down, Daniel.
Tell needs to move, yeah.
Uh,
Daniel saw that failed 4K and was like, "I'm a win, bitches," because that is actually exactly how Daniel sounds in real life. In case you were wondering, and you've never met him. Yeah. So I was just.
taking the safety lock.
What's that?
Tell took the safety lock.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, like I said, yeah, Wolf, obviously wasn't was thought that CAD was going to be able to make that 4K, and that's a mistake. But he's a very careful, smart player, so that didn't rattle him. He, with Tell, he remembered to do the gas cloud lock, and back we go. Now Dalen does have a pretty, sort of long shot chance to take out the Jedi Knight here. Average roll.
Yep.
Jedi Knight's fine.
Yep. Yeah, I think you have to there.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, preserve your points. CAD's not going to be in the next round of fighting anyway, so just preserve your hull. Stay on the board.
So then you probably shoot Dalen here.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a better chance at having Dalen, and that's something that would obviously benefit you in the points race. I mean, the problem for the Jedi Knight is it does still have 2 ships coming at it that fire before it.
Yeah.
Or, yes, Dalen will trade shots with him, but Tel Traver is going to come rolling in and could eye on him. And Dalen survives. So doesn't look like he's got an ion shot on CAD here. So probably, yeah, primary Dalen, 2 versus a billion.
Nope. He's. Did he remember he's got a torpedo left?
Well, the torpedo doesn't really help, right?
Well, it's one more
It's
die.
one extra
Dalen.
die. Yeah.
Range bonus.
Yeah. All right, I'll allow it. I mean, you might as well. You're right. 3 versus.
2.
Well,
It'll be
through the
full
gas
lock.
cloud. Oh,
Yeah.
right, because you don't get the range bonus. Yeah, that's the right call. Yeah, 3 versus 2 instead of 2 versus 3. Yeah.
That's what he's doing. Of course, because
Nope.
it's a plasma, that cloud's going to cancel any crits coming through.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that'll probably get it. Yeah, gets the damage through. It's not half
Nope.
points, but it's closer.
Gas cloud.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that was a blank, right?
Yeah.
Never mind. Gas cloud saves the day. I was just because there were questions about Teltravura and the state in which it comes back. Because you're not destroyed. It is a substitution effect. You're choosing not to be destroyed. You go into reserve. When you go into reserve, you keep everything that you had. Circular tokens would go away in end phase. You still get cleaned up. You still would get charges back, but you're not destroyed, so you keep everything that you had going in. Turret arcs, except for specifically because of Tel, you discard your current damage card. So the only thing you wouldn't keep by going into reserve here that you normally would be crits.
Yep.
Yeah. So I did do just to clarify and make sure for myself because I do play Tel a lot, but I could have been wrong. I went back through and double checked the rules reference.
Daniel's got his dials down quick.
All right. So, Jeff makes an excellent point in chat, by the way, that there wasn't really any urgency to do the CAD, double focus out of that. So even a Talon, 2 Talon, or 4K wasn't really a required move for CAD there, particularly given the fact that Wolf was in the lead, and you don't want to risk giving up that lead. And in some sense, now he's risked that lead because CAD's actually in trouble, right? And is not going to be able to get into the fight this turn. And Daniel's going to have his entire list pointing at Dalen. So I'd expect Tel's going to come in very fast. I would expect that Tel's going to come in with a 3 bank to get that Ion on. Unfortunately, Dalen does have to go before CAD, which now with an aggressive bank from the Y-Wing, this makes things a little harder for Dalen. Dalen's not going to be able to. I'd actually be shocked if Dalen moves at all.
Yeah.
Because he's going to double bump on CAD here. CAD's going to have to do a bank through the clouds and come back next turn. So, Wolf could end up giving up half points on Dalen here without maybe necessarily getting the Jedi Knight off the board.
Yep. I mean, that thing's been
It's been resilient
so far. So
yeah, and Ahsoka gives him so many options here. I mean, he could, Ahsoka could do all sorts of shenanigans to improve the Jedi Knight's odds of both survival and pushing damage through. So.
Yep. So yeah, Dalen just stays put on CAD there.
Yeah. So I think here's what I think I would do here. I think I would. Well, never mind. I would have moved Ahsoka first, given the Jedi Knight a barrel roll, and then that would have put the Jedi Knight into range 1 on its move.
Yeah.
Did he forget to jam?
Yes.
Daniel, stop getting all excited, man. But yeah, anyway, I would have given the Jedi Knight the barrel roll so that he gets into range 1 on either of those guys.
Yep.
Not that a jam matters against Dalen, really, but or really CAD, because CAD's getting out of here, but still, it means you wouldn't have had to self-jam.
Yep.
So. Alas. I mean, now what sucks here is, he might as well just jam himself, right? Because he's not getting an action from the bump anyway. Or he can't, right? He has to jam somebody at range 1?
No, it's 0 to 1.
Okay.
And he's got the lock on Tel, which is.
Well, it looks like that lock is gone now, right?
It's still up there.
Is it? Oh, yeah, there it is. It's just not near Tel. There we go. right, so here comes the jam token. Yeah, I think that's the right call. Jam your own lock off.
Well, I mean, if Wolf chooses to have Dalen shoot the Y-wing, I mean, it's in bullseye, so it won't get to spend that focus again.
Yeah. But he's probably hoping that he's going to get a primary or an ion shot on somebody to use that on, would be my guess.
If he survives.
Yes. And actually, this, does come down to what is your target priority if you are Wolf? Is it the Jedi Knight or is it the bomber? I mean, I think it's the Jedi Knight.
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
Okay,
Yeah,
so he Ahsoka'd here.
Yep.
To lock Dalen. And gets his own focus. Man, I'm becoming an Ahsoka fan here.
Yeah.
That's a really good ability.
I like both of the Ahsoka lists that got spat out there.
Yeah. All right, so there's a 2 hard followed by a 1 bank boost. Probably doesn't need to stress himself. And probably doesn't want to stress himself so he can get better, kind of a better maneuver out of him next turn. Drew is asking what the score is.
Still 98 to 50.
98 to 50 with Wolf in the lead. This has been a real back and forth match, Drew, so I highly recommend watching from the beginning when you get a chance. It's been very fun. All right, so just a 4 forward was clearly a... Oh. Okay. I don't...
Oh, moving the lock out of the way.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, all right, so 4 forward. Must have been a little concerned the 3 bank would have ended up blocked and no action. Does Cad still have protons? No, he fired both protons early in the game. Did great damage with the first. They were both single modded with just target locks, and the second one was a whiff on the Jedi Knight. So. All right. I don't know if people can hear the turkeys outside my house gobbling, but if you can, that's what my life is now.
No shields for Dalen to steal.
Yeah. I really do like Dalen though from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it works once a game.
Both of the chemos.
Yeah. 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 All right. So here comes Tell's shot. Do you do the primary on the Y-wing? Or actually, I guess he has the maybe. No, I don't think he has primary arc on Jedi Knight. Because an ion shot, it's fine, but it doesn't solve many of your problems.
Yeah.
It's more likely to hit the Jedi Knight, but here you'd have 2 versus 1. There's a, you've got to focus. You probably have a chance to kill the Y, but again, it doesn't really solve your problems.
Yeah, or you go. I mean, if you go with ion into the Jedi Knight, that. I mean, it gets it down to 1 if it hits.
Right.
Maybe he has to spend his force and sets up Dalen for a nice follow-on.
Just roll natties. There's Wolf shot, and that's going to kill That's going to kill the Y-Wing.
Yep.
So score check.
Yeah, that's going to take us to 120
So
to
Jeff
50.
is asking for a health check on the ships. I'm not sure if that just means read off the health for him, but we've got Tel Travura at 1 hull. We've got Dalen at 7 hull. We've got undamaged Cad. We've got the Jedi Knight down to 2 hull and Ahsoka's full health. And those are correct. These guys have been keeping their health accurate.
That's one more into the Jedi Knight.
Yep. That was Dalen's shot, right?
Yep.
All right. So I would be shocked if Dalen doesn't get down to half points here. Or do you just kill Tel? Let's see. Point-wise.
Half a Dalen's going to be worth a little bit more.
A little bit more, yeah.
Yep, he's going into Tel. So, yep, that's going to kill Tel.
Yep. Just roll paint. I mean, I think there's a greater benefit to getting, a ship off the board for the next turn to Daniel there, right? It's not just about points. So Natty evades for once doesn't matter.
So that takes us to 120 to 75.
Yeah. And that does look like bullseye.
Yeah.
And range 2. So that's a pretty good result for Ahsoka there.
Yep.
Wolf is correct. Technically, Tel is still there. for the moment. Gotcha, Jeff. I'm not sure how things look actually on the stream.
So 2 into Dalen.
Yeah, and that is one away from half points, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So I honestly think it's anybody's game still here. It feels fairly even here with Cad still full health on the board. So if you're Daniel, what is your move here to flip things completely in your direction? Do you go all in on Cad? Try to catch him by surprise?
I almost feel like you want to, just while you still have
the Jedi Knight.
Since
I mean, you have to be with the Jedi Knight particularly. You do have to be worried that Cad could initiative kill you, right?
Yeah.
So, do you maybe go in to block Dalen with the Jedi Knight and then go on Cad with Ahsoka?
Well, Dalen's moving.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, Dalen moves first.
Yes.
So
true.
He's got to be worried about Dalen coming in for a block here.
Yes. Fair. And that's probably makes the most sense, right? Is for Dalen to go like 3 forward and just try to wreck Daniel's plans.
Yeah.
Is this maybe a spot where then the Jedi Knight and Ahsoka 4K? If you're expecting Dalen to go fast.
Yeah, I mean, I like that.
Or sorry, I said 4K, but deltas are 5K, right?
Yeah, I think a 5 and a 3.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 5 and a 4. Okay, so I was not wrong. But yeah, I think actually Jeff makes a good point. I'd go with the longer one just to be safe. Yeah. Absolutely. I was just being a dummy. Thanks, Jeff. Good catch. And I was just going to say, I think that obviously Daniel is one of the best players in the Bay Area, and Jeff is talking about how that kind of might give him a bit of an edge here in this even situation. I actually just want to bring attention to the fact that I think Wolf is, because he's a militant casual but in Europe, is is somebody who's flying under the radar in terms of player skill, and I think Wolf is right up there uh, with any of the Militant casuals from the Bay Area. Um,
I've played him a couple of times when he's been out here, and he is a very good player.
not only that, but I think if you watch this game, you see
Yeah.
that these are two very evenly matched players. This is something Alex said earlier. They're both very careful planners, and Wolf has pulled 2 or 3 moves with Dalen that we didn't even consider because we figured they'd be blocked. Right?
Yeah.
There was the 3 hard from Dalen that got in. There was the 3 bank that got in. There was the clearly planned self bump that avoided the bombs. I mean, yeah. I think honestly, I feel like this might be one of our best streams if you want to watch 2 very thoughtful players really play a game of chess with each other. It's been outstanding. He's a militante casuale. Well, he's Nordic, so I think it's actually just militant casuals, but with a bunch of umlauts. so I'll go with that. I worked in Sweden off and on for several years, and I used to joke that they had a Nickelback cover band there called Nickelbacken, but it just had a bunch of umlauts everywhere. Anyway, as we can see, this is a key turn, so it does look like Wolf is really putting some time into his planning here. Bjorny, Floyd. Yeah, exactly. Bork. That's right, Jeff. And of course, that has made this stream run pretty long. We started at about 8:10, and it is now almost 11. So, and we've got one more turn after this. That said, hell of a game.
This has been a blast to watch.
Yeah, this has been so good, and what's great about it is it's any player's game.
Yeah.
So, all right, we've got dials down. You know what? The other thing I'll say about this too is, even though the dice have been a little swingy, they haven't determined the outcome either, which I think has been made this a very good game, both to stream and to watch.
Yeah. No, it seems like one player will have a turn where they're rolling hot, then the other player gets it on the next turn. So it's been pretty even.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So Dalen has the first move now, with other low initiative pilots now dead. And even Wolf was like, "Oh damn, that's right, the bomber's gone." Oh no. All right. Well, that really makes next turn a lot harder, I think, for Wolf. That he's going to be stressed going into this.
Yeah.
And there's a 4K from the Jedi Knight, so I didn't mean to guess the 4K correctly, but turns out I did. Now, do you think Ahsoka sloops? Or plan to sloop here?
Maybe?
Yeah. I think Daniel just assumed that's range 1. I'm going to verify it. Or whose lock is he canceling? Yeah, he did have range 1 on Dalen. Okay. Oh, so Ahsoka with just a bank. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have 5K'd both, but Daniel is, again, a smarter, better player than me, so we'll see what happens. Do you think CAD boosts here?
Yeah, I was thinking I kind of liked a 2 hard there a little bit more, just to give you a better angle on the boost in.
Yeah.
Because I think that would let you do the.
Ooh,
right
this
bank,
is
right
interesting. So CAD is barrel rolling towards the cloud. Oof. That's going to make next turn really tough. I'm actually really surprised he didn't focus boost. and just focus on Ahsoka. Because I don't think that gets him arc on the Jedi Knight, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely didn't. Now, wait a minute. No, yeah, and that also keeps him from doing a red move next turn. Because he could have red moved through the cloud and gotten his focuses, and it wouldn't have mattered. But, well.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not terrible. But Ahsoka's got
Ugh.
just enough.
Yep.
Yeah, you spend the force here, right? Oh, no, he's using the lock, of course. Duh. Oof. Well, that will be half points on Dalen.
Yep. See what the crit is.
Yep. Yeah, he's got to hope it's not a direct hit. So he must have. Yeah, I don't know. The 4K doesn't make a lick of sense there for Dalen. I wonder if mental fatigue has just set in for both players after a game this long.
I was
All
thinking.
right, what do we got? Fuel leak. Does not care. Does not care. It looks like he just misses the CLT.
Can do a bullseye.
I don't think it does.
Check.
Oh, sorry. Here, I'm going to use. Oops. That was the wrong thing. Control click. Check the bullseye. Nope, he does not have it. So it's just going to be 2 dice at range 3. And Cad's not going to take half points here one way or the other, so.
Yeah.
And he's just going to be full points. Okay, well, that was a. So what's the score at this point?
120 to 104.
Okay, so Wolf still has the lead?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so really all Dalen needs to do here is not die.
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't know if he can do it, given that the Jedi Knight is going to want to go kill him, but and those bombs are still there. The danger for Daniel is if he loses the Jedi Knight, there's probably no way he wins, right?
Kills him. Yeah, if Daniel loses the Jedi Knight, he has to kill Yeah, he wouldn't be able to do it because he'd have to kill Dalen and half tell.
Yeah. Or Cad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dalen, you just 4 forward here, right? Or is that red?
It's white, but
Yeah. So you just go fast because you don't want Ahsoka coming around on
yeah,
you,
yep.
right? Right. So then, what do you do with Cad? Because now you're in a crap position where you're going to have no actions no matter what. Do you just 5 forward, expecting the Jedi Knight to go very fast? No, that sucks. That's stupid. So let me. I guess
Yeah.
let me ask this question: if Dalen goes off the board, is Daniel in the lead?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to kill the Jedi Knight
Yep.
to save Dalen. I gotta
Yeah.
look
So
at.
maybe you just go fast across the cloud and hope you catch him.
I gotta take a look at the dial for the chemo. Okay, yeah, chemo doesn't have a 4 forward actually. Yeah, so it is a 3 forward only is your fastest option.
Yep.
But it is blue, so it does give you the option to uh, take a focus. And I don't think there's a way the Jedi Knight's going to get close enough to jam that off. I mean, you
Yeah.
never know because they're fucking wacky. But um, so I guess let me ask you this question, Brandon. What is your if you were Wolf? What are your ideal moves here?
Yeah. I think you just go for range with Dalen, get him out of there. And I think Cad's got a. Maybe bank across the cloud?
I mean, if you're Daniel, do you go all in on Cad? Do you one hard the Jedi Knight and 2 forward Ahsoka and just hope you wreck face? I mean, Cad's not going to have uh, a token, so Concordia face off is good, but you're still relying on your green dice. Um,
Yeah, I mean, unless. I mean, it's risky, though, because if Cad bumps Ahsoka, then it's only the one shot.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, but Ahsoka could also 4K here. So you don't want to
Yes.
go too fast that you take both shots because of that too, right?
Right, but if she K turns, you're not going to be in her bullseye, and
Right.
if it's range 1, you still got Concordia.
Yeah. I mean, both of those, Jedi are going to move before Cad, so it's really Daniel trying to predict what Cad's going to do.
Yeah.
And I think we all know that Cad A has to survive, and B his win condition really is to get the Jedi Knight off the board. Um, so it is really a back and forth game of like, what will my opponent do, and what can I do? What will my opponent do, and what can I do? Right. Um, so there is, Ahsoka does also have sloop options.
Yep.
Um, though I'm not sure I'm as much of a fan of those. Um, I don't know. This is tough. I think one way or the other, honestly, I think I won hard the Jedi Knight towards Cad. And just, hope. Because you just don't want to lose the Jedi Knight. Um, you're in the lead if you're Wolf, right? So, yeah. So Daniel has to kill Dalen
He has to kill. Yeah, he has to kill
or
Dalen or half Cad.
half Cad, right? And that's the tough part because that means that, Wolf has to predict which one Daniel decides to do.
Yep.
And honestly, though, well, and with Dalen going first and the ability to move Ahsoka before the Jedi Knight, probably the most likely move here is that the Jedi Knight moves last. So, Dalen goes 3 forward. So if Daniel predicts that, then Ahsoka just gets out of the Jedi Knight's way and gets someplace where he hopes that he would end up blocking Cad, right? So
Yeah.
that makes me think that Ahsoka probably just 1 or 2 banks in front of Cad, and the Jedi Knight then goes balls to the wall to kill Dalen. That's probably the optimal move, I think, for Daniel to counter
Yeah.
the optimal moves for Wolf. So, and again, it's the win condition isn't just killing Dalen; it's half point Cad as well, right? So,
Either or.
yeah,
Killing
man.
Dalen's probably the easier one to do.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think absolutely because of Concordia face off, that auto. Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah, man, I am excited to see what they chose.
Yeah.
Anyway, no matter what, after this turn we're done, and that's what really matters because I can go shower. God, I am so glad we were able to get this stream in though. God, this game has been so
Yeah.
fucking good. Yeah. All right, Wolf is set. Dalen, 3 forward.
Okay.
I honestly think they're not revealing dials specifically to torture us.
Oh.
I was just starting to wonder if he might
Yeah,
do
go hide
something.
behind the cloud.
Yeah. But Daniel did
Oh.
consider that. Though,
Yep.
wow. Uh, I guess you just barrel roll now, right?
Yeah.
Force barrel roll and let Ahsoka give you the action. Because then you are the one who blocks Cad. Yeah, you know what? Oh man, I think you played yourself, Wolf. Daniel's really smart. Man. I mean, not that the jam matters there, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep. There's the sloop.
Ooh. And I don't. If Cad just did a 2 forward, I don't think he gets a shot on anybody.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, sometimes you just go with the move that everybody knows you've got to do, and you just rely on the focus token to save you. Oh, and yeah, so he did. He did.
Oh.
Wow, that's really even faster than I thought Cad would go. I thought about the 5 forward too to chase down the Jedi Knight, but
Yeah. That. Oof.
yeah,
So now he's sitting in Ahsoka's bullseye.
yeah, I think Cad's gonna get half pointed here. So we've got 4 versus 2 with the gas cloud. Oh, it's true. He did not do an action after he did the barrel roll in the jam. I forgot that they're not actually in voice chat.
Yeah.
Did Cat actually go over the gas cloud?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, okay.
Both of them. Yeah, so CAD needs to roll for strain.
He's got to roll both of those gas clouds, right? I'm pretty sure you do. You just only get the defensive benefit of one gas cloud when there's multiple between you. So it looks like he will get one strain. Woof.
Yeah, that's going to kill Dalen.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. The ghost of Vassal's like, get this game over with already, for God's sake.
It's a crit, sets off the fuel leak. Very dead Dalen.
Yep.
That'll put Daniel back in the lead by 13 points.
Yep, and no chance for the reversal. So since no shots for CAD. Man. And it looks like, the way that this ended up setting up for Daniel, that he would have had, if Dalen had gone straight, he would have still had two shots on Dalen with the moves he did, which is, pretty damn good. So two chances to do that one health damage. And maybe not a shot for. I mean, CAD going 5 forward meant there still would have been no shot.
Yeah. And just one. Oh man, Daniel was thinking that was red, but I thinking if Cat had done a 4K there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, but Cad was stressed.
Right.
Yeah, because he'd done. I mean, that was honestly that was that barrel roll to try to get the shot on the Jedi Knight probably was the rather than a boost in was probably the game. All right, let's go ahead and go in and talk to these folks. Oh wait, they're not on voice chat.
Yeah.
All right, so we won't be able to talk to Wolf, but we could get Daniel in here. All right. All right. So let's see. Normally we
Hello.
would go in. Oh, hello. Normally we would go into the voice room being used by the players, but instead we're going to have Daniel join us. Hi, Daniel.
Hi there. That was a
Hello.
fun game.
That was an amazing game to both watch and stream. Um, so yeah, you know that was quite an even matchup I think between you two, both from list quality and quality of play until the last couple turns. I think Wolf played a little risky at the end there, and it ended up costing him. So uh, let's have you walk us through the game from your perspective, start to finish, Daniel.
Yeah. So this was a 3-hour game, and I'm trying to keep it short. I don't really remember the beginning. I remember I tried to shoot a plasma off in the beginning. I think I got a hit onto Tell, which kind of knocked Tell's shields out, which is good.
I need your feet.
Towards the end, yeah, I think Sir Wolf is either tired or he. 1 second, my kid.
Yeah, we actually, you know what, we could probably. You've got kids to wrangle. I think Brandon, you and I probably have stuff we should probably do at this point too. So I think what I'll do is just wrap things up.
All right.
So, folks, this is one of the best streams I think we've done in quarantine up to this point, just in terms of both the quality of play and, of course, having Brandon provide insight via commentary. So I'm going to definitely promote this one, on our page for folks to watch. Thank you, folks who joined us in the stream. We also got some great feedback from folks who were providing their commentary in the chat, particularly Alex, but also we had Jeff and Drew providing some good insight towards the end as well. So thanks for watching. Thanks for playing, Daniel. Brandon, thanks for joining me at 8 in the freaking morning on a Saturday. I'm not sure when we'll get our next stream going, but you can subscribe to our YouTube page if you want to be made aware when we go live. And you can always join the Militant Casuals Facebook page. I always update there. You can also join the Militant Casuals Discord. I always put announcements there as well. If you're interested in more games of this quality with lists you would not ordinarily see. I think we saw in this game the value of Chopper, obviously, and the Jedi Knight and Ahsoka. I'm really impressed with Ahsoka, and I'm definitely going to put Ahsoka on the board more going forward myself. We saw some really fun stuff from Dalen, and Cad kind of sucks, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
But Tell is awesome. So, Brandon, if you had quick takeaways you wanted to share on the stream, I'll throw to you.
I just thought it was a really good game there, and long one, unfortunately, so wearing down on the players at the end. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Daniel had a point. As he was saying, kind of when he came in here, is that with there still being 2 Jedi on the board, even though they're not aces, it's not like Dalen or Tell could have run away. They needed to get in and take the Jedi Knight off the board, and
Yeah.
Daniel's dice intervened on that at one key moment, and then with the length of the game, I do think Wolf wore down. So
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, thanks folks for listening in. Thanks for being part of the stream. We'll be back sometime in the next couple days to do another one of these. We're the Militant Casuals. This is our second Jank Tank tournament, and thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.